All right, we're back. And I got one of my childhood best friends with us tonight. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Monty, Michael Montgomery.
That's
Then,
my
of
name.
course, as always, our co-host, Brett,
The favorite.
a.k.a. MC Whitey. Yeah, the favorite Brett. You're never going to let me live that one down.
Why would I?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the best. I've never been the best at something.
Yeah, well, you are the best at it, maybe. I mean, you're getting to be the best at it because he's not been, the other Brett's not been here lately.
Yeah, that's true.
You have two Bretts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brett Cody Bobe.
Brett, Cody. I've heard you say that name on
Yeah.
the podcast before.
Yeah. But so what's new, guys? We got all kinds of fights coming up, and
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
we got our new sports analyst.
Well, I know you already covered this a little bit last week, and you said you didn't want to talk about it, but Francis versus Stipe.
Yeah, I do want to talk about it, but I got to get you in the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, we might have to either
Get it
extend
closer?
it. Yeah,
Get it closer?
Yeah, you got to talk right into it.
Sure. Yeah, Francis versus Stipe, man. I know. I was rooting for Stipe, but
Same.
it was kind of wishful thinking to think he was going to do the same exact thing again and be successful at it. And I mean, but it was also kind of, Francis's last 4 fights since he lost to Stipe, it didn't show he
Yeah.
had any, octagon time. So it was kind of surprising to think that he was going to be that much improved at, the wrestling.
Yeah, he was very well improved, and it wasn't even just wrestling. He was
Right.
he was well improved with striking.
Right. He's really
as well.
patient, really
Yeah.
patient. But I mean,
Yeah, he's starting to become that champion
Yeah.
that everybody wants him to be, I think.
yeah,
He's starting to get a little bit more rounded.
right.
Before, he was just this freak of nature that just, if he put his hands on you, you were going to sleep.
Right.
But now he doesn't just have to rely on that. Now he's starting to get that timing and that tempo and the technique. And so that's pretty cool.
He was
So-
always scary, but
Yeah,
there was a
he's
there,
so scary.
But
Yeah.
there was an if there.
Yeah.
Somebody
Exactly.
needed to slip up
Yeah.
for that to happen. But now, it doesn't have to be a slip up. He can just make his own.
Yeah, he's
Openings.
starting to make his own way a little bit instead of just, straight line pulverizing people.
Yeah.
He, like you said, he's able to kind of take a step back.
His
Be able to-
his fight IQ is going up for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's just going to be natural with, cage experience and the amount of pressure.
Right.
Like these championship
Right.
fights,
Right.
that amount of pressure, you're going to have to be a little bit smarter. You can't go in there with a Stipe Miocic and expect to just
screw up at any
yeah,
point.
expect to just straight line drive him. You can't expect to do that. You got to be a little bit smarter. And he did a good job at that.
Yeah.
But it still sucks.
So, what do you think about Francis versus Jones?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I still have Jones winning.
Yeah, I know. I know, man.
Have you seen any of Jones's recent
Yeah.
training videos?
Yeah, he's a
Not
monster.
lately, no.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He looks like Francis. I mean, he looks just as big as
Yeah.
Francis does.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what was it I said? Did I say it to you? No, I think I said it to my nephew earlier this week. I said, Francis. I said, my nephew's been doing really good at like updating me on the fights because I haven't had time to rent them or whatever. And he said Francis won, and I think my response was,
You didn't watch the fight live?
no.
Oh, no.
I suck. I suck so bad. But I think my response was, that's the one Francis that not even Deadpool is looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But
He's scary.
But yeah, so I've seen some recent stuff of John Jones. Dude, he looks good. I think
He really
I
does.
think somebody said he's like 240 something pounds right now.
Yeah, 246, I think, something like that.
246. Yeah,
Is
that was
where-
the number.
Is that
yeah.
where he's trying to fight at, or that's just where he's at now?
I think that's just where he's at. He's going to fight heavyweight.
Well,
Right,
he,
but-
he just posted an update video while he's running. He said he feels like he's bulked up enough. He feels like he has enough mass to finally do a heavyweight fight to compete in the heavyweight division. And I think that's, like him and UFC Brad Dana White, they've been going back and forth trying to make negotiations to get this Francis fight
Right.
booked, but he just wants an insane amount of money. And rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully
Yeah.
so. I'm not even going to I mean, outside Conor McGregor. I mean, Dana White always
Oh,
calls
no.
him the
Never, ever compare Bones to McGregor.
Oh, no.
When it comes
I
to-
just mean as far as draw,
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's even close.
No, I think McGregor beats him for draw.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Like Jones doesn't draw as much as McGregor, but Dana does like always call him the GOAT, like the greatest of all time, greatest. And
If he beats Francis,
Yeah.
there's no contention
Yeah.
whatsoever. Nobody could ever say that anyone in the sport has ever been better than John Jones. If he beats Francis,
yeah,
there's no argument.
I agree.
There's no
I agree.
argument
I agree.
whatsoever.
I agree 100%.
I'm not even on like, man, as much as I hate to say it because I love Habib,
Dude, I love.
but I would even put John Jones above Habib if he beats
look,
Francis.
man, you can't.
Yeah.
Look. I love Jones too. I love Habib and Jones, but you can't ignore the fact that Jones.
I don't love Jones as
Jones-
a person.
No.
I love Jones as a fighter.
I just mean as no, like regardless of the cocaine, regardless of him
Yeah.
hitting a pregnant woman. I mean he was on performing enhancing drugs, like
yeah.
1,000%. Whether he was convicted by USADA, like your level. Like, do you ever watch More Plates, More Dates YouTube channel?
No, I've never heard of it.
Joe Rogan's podcast, he shouts him out, but it's a guy who was really into bodybuilding and was super into roids, and he knows all about all different types of roids, and he has different YouTube videos, some that are like an hour and a half long, where he covers John Jones, he covers Paulo Costa, he covers Yoel Romero, and what he thinks their steroid cycle was, or if they were on steroids at all throughout their career.
Gotcha.
And what's crazy is for Yoel Romero, he determined that he literally was not on performing enhancing drugs, but he says Paulo Costa is 100% on stuff. You know?
So Yoel Romero, man, that'd be a hard one to believe. Like the best physique in sports today.
But that's exactly why. Like he's been to doctors that have said that you are a genetic specimen freak.
Yeah.
Well,
we have a friend like that.
He looked-
Ricky. Well,
See the way you looked
I
at
don't.
me?
Yeah.
You can talk about Ricky, but he looked at me as soon as you said.
Yeah, he did. Like a genetic freak. And I seen like a little drool. A little drool come out
Yeah.
corner of his mouth.
But what about Ricky?
yeah.
Ricky actually, I don't know. Is it even legal for me to talk about somebody else's like doctor reports? I don't know. So here's what we're gonna
Probably
do.
not.
We'll just say that he produces too much testosterone.
Really?
Yeah, and so like basically what's normal for you or I is he's like triple that,
Right.
more or less.
Right.
He's just, for whatever reason, his body produces way too much testosterone.
Do you remember the Melton brothers?
Yes.
Like they were supposedly twins, but the one was like 6'4", and the other
Yeah.
one was just like normal. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like
Well, but they were both ripped.
right. They were both
Yeah, they were both ripped, but
Yeah.
one of them was a lot bigger than the other.
huge.
Like, he kind of reminded me of Kane from WWE.
Right. Yeah. He did.
Just a little bit. Now, this guy wasn't nearly that ugly.
Right.
but he kind of had, like, the eyebrow bones that stuck out a little bit
Right.
farther.
Neanderthal brow ridge.
Yeah, exactly. And, man, tough kids, too.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I wrestled with them a little bit
Yeah.
in high school. And, man, just tough kids. And not apparently, but one of them actually trained at Joey's for a little while.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I remember him a little bit because I was encouraging Joey to kind of steer him into doing not making a career of it, but to taking some fights and trying to go somewhere with it, because I knew he had a wrestling background, and then that's all I knew of him. And he came in and we sparred, and he seemed pretty sharp standing up too, and he was like brand new.
Yeah.
And already was seeming fairly sharp.
Well, he was just incredibly athletic and coordinated.
And on top of that, he was left-handed.
yeah.
So I was like, man, like we need to mold this kid. When I
Yeah.
say we, I don't mean like I was one of the instructors, but I mean like we as a group like need
Right.
to kind of
Yeah.
Push him.
yeah.
I remember when he was going in there, there was a few of us from Lawrenceville High School that was going there. And when he was going there, he beat the shit out of a kid. One of my really close friends, still to this day, he beat the shit out of him in the hallway. And I remember when he came into class that night, Joey was not super thrilled,
Yeah.
but not happy either.
Who
He
was
was
this? Who was fighting?
Jeremy. The other name I'm not going to say on
Okay.
air,
Yeah, okay.
but we'll talk about it in there a little
All
bit. But yeah, the other name's still one of my really close friends. But yeah, I mean, even it was like a really brutal high school fight,
Yeah.
which I think there was quite a bit of blood, but it was more just like just a lot of ground and pound, just like smash until somebody broke it up. And my friend at the time, I remember right after it happened, he was kind of worried, like, because there was two of them, they were twins, and he was kind of worried that it might happen again, like might get jumped on again. So I had to like walk him down to the office, you know, like a high school, that high school era stuff where
Right.
I got your back, I got your back. So I had to like bodyguard him, and he was 2 years younger than me as well. So I was a senior and he was, you know, a sophomore. But he was a good friend of mine, and obviously he was a little bit younger, but I kind of looked out for him a little bit, so I had to walk him down to the office and make sure he didn't get jumped on. And we actually
missed
crossed.
one.
Yeah,
You missed one lookout.
yeah, yeah. I missed one lookout. Yeah, somebody had came in. I'm trying to recall exactly what class I was in, but somebody so it happened in between classes, and class hadn't quite started yet, and I was already in my classroom that I needed to be in, and somebody ran in and was like, "Joey, you know, so and so's getting beat up out here in the hallway."
Yeah.
By the time I got there, it was already said and done, but yeah, it was a weird. You know, high school situations are always awkward.
Yeah.
We were in a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, Michael over here was quite the scrapper in high school.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. There was only a handful of times. You know what I was thinking of is I don't know if I should talk about. I will talk about it just because.
Just don't mention names. That's the important
I'll mention
part.
first names. You remember when we convinced you, Colton, and I in PE convinced.
Oh, are you going to talk about
convinced David?
No, don't talk about it. Yes, David. Yep.
To beat up a kid named Colton. He didn't beat him up. That's so. Yeah.
No, that was actually pretty even. It actually squared away pretty good.
That was.
I'm pretty proud of Colton.
How the outcome of that fight. We just told this kid that this other kid was talking shit about him to go beat his ass when we went when we go in the locker room, beat his ass.
Dude.
And
So sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt, but before you go any farther, I was literally just thinking about this earlier this week, like just a couple days ago. Like it just randomly popped in my mind.
that's
Just-
one of my best memories with you, even though it should not be a good memory.
It's such a shitty memory, dude.
It
We
is
were
it's a bad.
dicks.
We were very bad kids. We
weren't
were
good.
being very bad influencers at
Yeah.
that moment.
Well, we were just a couple potheads at the time.
go commit this crime. Go assault this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, finish your story. But why did we have him do that?
I don't even.
There was something that was going on, like where that kid was just being kind of a jerk, and we were just sick of it. I think, or we were just that big of assholes.
I think he was always like dating he was like 17. He was older and he was always like dating like girls that were like way younger.
Oh,
And we just
okay,
call him. We would
yeah.
just say he's a creep or a
Yeah.
pedo and like go beat him up. He's after little girls and
So this kid just thought he was doing a good service. Like,
yeah.
I'm taking out the creepy guy.
Well, I think.
You remember how it played out?
I remember exactly how it played out. But I'm trying to think of like the ages. So David was a freshman,
Yeah, he's probably about 15.
and we were juniors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were the upperclassmen.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse. We're just
What shitbags?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we were
That's
shitbags.
good high school memories. Being an asshole.
But I do remember how it played out. They went into the locker room,
Yeah.
or sorry, David went into the locker room where the other party was at, and he said something along the lines of, "Heard you been talking shit," and when the other guy was like, "What are you talking about?" David just straight up hit him, just whack. Is that right?
I don't.
Is that your recollection?
Now that you even say that line, that line was said. But what's funny? Yes, he didn't just hit him once. He hit him like he hit him. I think he grabbed a hold of his shirt or his hair, and he just he hit him like 5 times,
Yeah.
like in the side of the head and jaw, and the kid was like kind of rocked, stunned a little bit. He wasn't like hurt, but he was just like.
But it busted something open. I mean,
No,
David
this-
ended
this-
up getting busted open,
Yeah,
but I'm
that's what-
saying the
yeah.
other kid,
He did get busted. Yeah.
yeah,
did.
the
He
other
was
kid
bleeding,
also
too.
got bleeding as well. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was his nose or his mouth,
Yeah.
but so it stopped, and like the other kid's just like
Standing there
basically
stunned,
like
he-
what the heck just happened?
He
And
said
then it
that, yeah.
dawns on him. It dawns on him what just happened.
He just got his ass kicked a little bit.
Yeah. And so David's at his locker, facing his locker. The other kid runs up behind him, bashes his head into the locker, and the
Yeah.
lockers are graded. There's like little diamond cutouts.
Yeah.
And it like completely
Yeah.
lays David open.
Yeah, it was bleeding bad.
But then I don't
Wow.
remember what happened after that. I think we actually
this is-
stopped
this-
it.
this
I
is
think we actually
Eth-
big brothered it.
Ethan.
And we were like, all right, guys.
It was Ethan.
Don't. Yeah,
I know.
No
It
last
was
names.
Ethan,
Yeah.
the wrestling captain, or I don't know if he was captain.
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah, okay.
He ran over to Colton and grabbed Colton because David was also in. I think David did a little bit of wrestling, or he was closer. Ethan was closer with David than he was Colton.
Yeah.
But Ethan grabbed a hold of Colton and was just like, "All right, that's enough." And he was like, he was choking him a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
And then
Like
he-
establishing dominance, but not.
Yes. And then he just broke it up, and then I walked David to the nurse's office to get bandaged up, and then
Yeah.
and I think we like the Coach Hawkins or whatever, the teacher, the PE teacher. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, he slipped and fell."
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah. Yeah, well, we got them both out of trouble on
Yeah.
that because,
But
yeah,
you know
we
what
lied.
you
We
know
lied
what-
for him.
You know what he said to me later on? He's like, "Slipped and he's like, 2 guys go in the locker room, come out bloody, slipped and fell. I know what happened."
Yeah.
That's what he said to me.
Well, there's no proof if nobody's going to rat. So.
Right.
That is pretty good for nobody to.
Yeah, nobody got in trouble. Yeah, almost every other fight that ever happened in high school, I felt like it was always seen by teachers to where the 2 people would get suspended for 3 days.
Yeah. Well, when we were in school, and I'm sure it was probably even more so when you were in school, but when we were in school, high school was a lot like a prison. Like there was a lot of like unspoken prison rules,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense at all. And it wasn't necessarily like defined by your race, but more of like your social status.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of common rules of like, and one of them was, no snitching.
Yeah.
If you snitched, you were gonna have a hard time. And there actually was a couple snitches
Yeah.
when we were in high school that ended up not staying in our high school.
Who's that?
Well, I can't say their names, but there was a female that ended up ratting out
I think I know who you're talking about.
a whole bunch of people for
Yeah.
drugs
Yeah, I think I know exactly. Who
and
you're
got
talking
beat
about.
up every single day until
I think-
she ended up finally
Yeah.
going to another school or
Yeah.
getting homeschooled.
Right.
Yeah, when I was in school, you had those unspoken rules. Like for example, in PE, it was freshmen through seniors, and otherwise, like my freshman year, I wouldn't interact with a lot of seniors, but in PE, you did. And we had a couple of the bigger guys, and I always had gum in my pocket, and
Yeah.
they'd always
Yeah.
come to me and ask for a
Yep.
piece of gum.
Yeah.
I always gave them a piece of gum,
Right.
and that offer
Oh,
of
you were
gum
in
every
then.
day
Yeah, you were
in.
was
Cool with them.
protection.
Yeah. it
It's
made you cool
like
with them.
like ciggies in,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
prison. Those were my ciggies, and I was small. Like I'm a chubby guy now, but as a freshman, I was 95 pounds.
Yeah.
And just a small guy. Never,
What year did you graduate?
99?
Okay.
So we were 9.
About I'd say I'm about 10 years ahead of you guys, and I needed that.
Right.
I had friends that were bigger too, but you don't want to just
Right.
have them always like fighting your battles.
Absolutely.
So, but when you give the big seniors gum every day, then people just know, like they kind of just know, like they watch out for this kid.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb thing.
Yeah.
It's a dumb fucking rule.
No,
but
it's true.
It really is, and that kind of leads me into the other thing of the prison rules. When he and I were freshmen, it was a weird time at that particular high school.
Yeah.
So the juniors and the sophomores loved each other, but hated the seniors,
Yeah.
and the seniors had the freshmen back.
Yep. Yeah.
Freshmen had the seniors
That's
back.
exactly what it was.
Interesting.
So there was
It was. It
well,
really was.
and so what had happened was there was a incredibly nasty fight.
Oh
that
yeah, we
happened.
got to talk about this.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. We're not going to mention any names on it at all.
yeah.
But there was an incredibly nasty fight that happened, and I still don't know the details of it. But it was between, at the time, a senior and a sophomore.
A junior and a freshman.
It was,
and
and then the next year
then
is
the
when
next
it all
year-
started really playing out. Okay,
it happened when
yeah.
we were in 8th grade. The fight did, and then the next year was like we had to deal with like the turmoil from like those two
Yeah.
groups feuding. Yeah,
So,
really.
It was weird. Like
It was a nasty fight though.
You didn't get
it was a
the
really nasty fight, and like it caused entire classes to hate each other.
Wow.
So when we, like I
Yes.
said, when we became freshmen, the seniors had our backs as long as we had theirs.
and that was also
And then
because,
there was the sophomores and the juniors.
right.
And so during like homecoming week and stuff, during homecoming week, it's just nothing but games and it's classes versus classes,
right.
and you could feel the turmoil.
Yeah.
Like during, like everybody wears a certain color, like a gang,
Yeah,
like
really.
a damn gang.
It really was.
And it was just like, I think our color was black, right?
Seniors were black.
Seniors were black, and they had us wearing their colors and stuff. Dude, it was straight like a gang. It was, we were affiliated. We were big.
Gang affiliate.
It was
Yeah.
the seniors and the freshmen were also connected because a lot of like Jake Decker, his older brother was a senior.
Yeah.
And
And if my brother wouldn't have dropped out,
Yeah.
Josh, he would have been a senior.
James Walker, his older brother was a senior.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yep.
You know,
Sorry, I should've said his
James's family owns the property right across the street.
Really?
Yeah. His parents are sitting out there right now.
I seen
Like
him.
you
I seen
passed
him.
him.
I seen
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You didn't have this shit at Bayside. All this gang affiliated shit.
Where's Bayside?
Well, that's
California.
Okay.
Well, that's the
really?
thing. It's just
really California.
It's not a real Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay. No, did you go to Lincoln?
No, I'm a Red Hill kid.
yeah.
Okay. So, hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
better than Lincoln.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is it's not really gang affiliated, but it is.
Oh,
it's
big
just
time.
unspoken.
The undertones. It's all gang
It's all-
undertones.
It's
man.
all undertones. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's
kind of
no
it's
fucking
kind of
about
like
that.
our MMA club out of the garage.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
it's like it's a club, but it's not a club.
Right.
But if you do this, we're gonna fuck you up.
It's not in the official rule book, but
but yeah,
it exists.
But don't be a shitbag.
Where do you guys train at?
I train at Anvil
Where's that at?
on 2nd Street in Vincennes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brian Stone is the owner. He was actually my coach back when you commonly hear us refer to the garage days. He was actually my coach back then. But we had basically a club out of that garage where we just had a lot of guys coming in there training.
Yeah.
But Brian and another guy, Ben Hinkle, would come out and actually help coach me.
Yeah.
Not too many of the other guys really had much involvement with the coaching side of it. They just came out and trained. And then Brian eventually ended up opening Anvil. And so I've been out there ever since then.
You're with Joey Worth before that? Did you used to go to
Yeah,
Joey's?
before the garage days, I was with Joey Worth. Yeah,
Yeah.
back in
like you're 16 or something.
Long
yeah
time ago.
16. So what would that have been, like 07?
Yeah. See, I was teaching at the time, so anywhere between 05 and 07.
Yeah, because I think I came in at the later end of Joey's stint.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was like 07, and then somebody else ended up trying to keep it open. And I was around for them guys for a few classes, but not very many.
Maybe I wasn't going at the
But
time.
yeah, but yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of us from Lawrenceville High School that actually went out to Joey's
Yeah,
place.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. David used to talk about it all the time.
David went out there. JD,
Right, yeah.
Michael,
Michael Moore?
yeah.
Really?
Heck on it. Well, obviously Corey Moon. And
Does he have another fight booked?
no, he's got a pretty severe knee injury.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
from
it
that last
happen in
fight.
his last fight?
Yeah, in that last fight. Happened in the first
10.
10, 15 seconds of that last fight.
And that was versus a guy Huntsucker
Yeah, Harry Hunsucker. Yeah.
who just
What an animal.
who just fought
Tia.
just like a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, well, so 2 weeks.
Tia Tavasa.
Tia, yeah.
Tavasa.
Is it Tia or Tia? Yeah, however.
right.
I'm really bad at
I don't know either.
pronunciation.
I don't know either.
Tavasa. I like that guy, by the way.
He is good. He is
but
good.
I'm a way bigger fan of Harry Hunsucker than I
right.
am
I was
Tia.
pulling for him.
I was
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So Corey and Harry fought, and then Harry won pretty devastatingly, and so he got the call.
Happened
So
first
Taya.
round, first round.
Oh yeah, first round. Yeah, like 50 or 40 some seconds.
Yeah, it didn't make a minute because the injury happened within 10, 15 seconds, and
Did he blow his ACL or MCL or?
We're not sure. I need to text him because rumor has it that he actually finally went to get it X-rayed. He'd been putting it off and putting it off. He's just been walking around in a brace, going to work in a brace.
Damn.
But rumor has it he finally went and got X-rayed, so I need to text him to figure out exactly what's wrong. But with that, so he fought Harry. Harry had won, and 2 weeks later, Harry fought in the UFC.
That's crazy.
2
That's
weeks
crazy.
later.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But he's signed to the UFC now.
Well, I don't know. I don't.
Or
I
is
haven't
it just
seen
like
contract.
a single contract? Yeah.
So here's the thing, and it's been eating at me. Like, it's been a little unsettling for me. I hope he is signed with
Yeah,
UFC.
yeah.
But here's the problem: if he is not signed, like a couple of fight contract with UFC, I'm kind of pissed off, and
Right.
I feel like
At
if he-
him or
at the UFC
right? Yeah.
because they did him dirty. If not, because it was all about that Taya
Yeah.
guy. You know, and good on that dude. I like that guy, but it was all a build up for him. They didn't say, leading up to it, which it was short notice, granted. Like, that guy's opponent had fell out.
Right.
It was short notice, granted, but it was all a build up for this Tia Tavasa, or I can't pronounce his name. I need to quit trying.
You're good. You're good.
But it was all a build up for him. And then even after he had won, and good on him, he won. They had him chug the fucking beer out of the shoe like they do
Right,
after
right.
all his post-fight interviews. It's all a big build up for him. It's all making him bigger.
Yeah.
But that's shitting on the other guy.
Right.
In my opinion. And I hope I don't fire too many people up about this, but it's really just the business, and it sucks because I feel like Harry does have a shot to be good in the UFC, but they gave him
He's a
the
contender. He's a contender.
Yeah, but they gave him the wrong
Shit
opponent.
Shit deal.
And on
They
short
gave him a
notice.
shit deal. Yeah, yeah.
But like-
that would have been the right opponent on one or two fights in the UFC, probably.
Right.
I mean, Harry's fought the Contender Series.
That guy's a veteran though. That guy's been.
That guy, yeah, that
he's
guy's been in
there.
for a minute, and
Yeah.
I feel like Harry's probably got the skills to match this other guy's. But when you put it into the pressure situation of the UFC,
Right.
it's a little bit different story.
It's
Right.
basically a tryout when you come in to fill
Yeah.
in for an injury.
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, I'm not really on the team, I'm not really on the roster, so I'm
Yeah.
trying out for the roster.
Yeah. So
In a
it
way.
just kind of sucks for Harry, I think.
Right.
Because I like the dude. He's a super nice guy, and he's gotten a hold of Corey a few different times to check up on him and stuff. Just a super cool guy. I mean, not a bad dude at all. I was
Right.
really pulling for him. I like his fighting style.
Yeah.
They call him the
It's-
Hurricane for a reason, and he really is. He's a hurricane.
He came out swinging, and he actually hurt his opponent like early on. I mean he didn't win, but he like you said, he's a contender.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like you said, I know you don't know the contract or whatever, but hopefully it was for a multiple fight contract.
I sure hope. If not, they.
If it was a one-off deal, then that really sucks.
Yeah, if it
That's
was a
shitty.
one-off deal, the UFC just did him dirty.
I have
I
a
agree.
feeling when you come in as a fill-in for an injury and you haven't fought for him before, I
Right.
can't help but think that it's probably a one-fight deal.
You're probably right.
But maybe if they like his style enough, even in a loss, maybe then they'll sign him to a multiple fight contract. But I'll bet the one he just signed
Was a single.
was
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
That's just how I would think that it went down.
No, you're probably right. That's a good possibility though.
And at that level of heavyweights, anything can happen at almost any time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other factor. So yeah, I'm just I pray for the guy, I honestly do, because I do feel like he belongs in the UFC.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
He's a contender. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's a contender. I feel like he's good enough
Give
to
him
be
a
there.
training camp.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not 2 weeks notice. Yeah.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Putting him in there against that guy
Right.
on just a couple of days' notice is not really giving him a
Right.
chance. I understand that he agreed to the fight. I get it, but He's a gamer.
First time in the organization too, though.
Well,
You
second
gotta-
time. Second time. He fought.
Has he really?
He
Yeah.
fought Dana. He fought the Tuesday night contender series.
Okay, hell
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he fought on it. Well, he was coming off a loss on it when he fought Corey.
Did he fight this past contender series, like the one that just happened, or the year before?
It was a few months ago.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
okay, yeah. I was watching those contender series. I
Yeah.
probably watched them on there.
Yeah, you probably
And I
did.
didn't even
Yeah.
realize it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they put him. They gave him a tall order on that one as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so I think he has a chance to do well in the sport, and I think he will. And I mean, he's done so good for Hard Rock. I mean, he's been like the reigning defending champ for a while now, right? At Hard Rock.
Yeah, a few
So-
fights, and I can see someone like Dana White respecting. Even in a loss, I can see him respecting the fact that you call a guy up, you say here's a fight against a pretty tough dude
Yeah.
on 2 weeks' notice. Do you want to do it? And the fact that he jumped on it and said hell yeah,
Yeah.
I can see Dana White respecting that and
Right.
I hope that's the way it's
kind of
looked at.
keeping
I
that
really
in the
do.
back of his mind, like okay, it was a loss, but I like that guy because I reached
He's
out.
willing.
I
He's
reached
willing.
out and he
Yeah.
said, "Fuck it, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go."
He's willing. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
So-
this weekend coming up
Yeah.
is, well, next weekend. It was supposed to be Marvin Vittori versus Darren Till, and then
Yeah.
Till dropped out.
So now it's Holland, right?
Till broke his collarbone, and now it's Kevin Holland, who just fought a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah,
and got
well-
his ass beat.
Yeah. Well, dude.
I
yeah,
love-
kudos
I like-
to Holland, dude.
I like Kevin.
Kudos
Is
to
he
Big
the one
Mouth.
that talks all the time?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
entire
Big
time?
Mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Holland.
I kind of do too.
It's hard not to like him.
What's
yeah.
funny about him is he talks so much, and like Dana White calls him Big Mouth.
Yeah.
So that nickname was given by Dana White. But like the words that he's saying aren't like shitbag words.
Yeah.
They're
It's-
just like
it's a
like word vomit words.
Right. That's right.
It's not like he's telling people.
He's just
oh
talk-
yeah.
he's
It's
talking.
not like he's just like Stockton motherfucker smacking
it's
people.
Not even. It's not really shit talk.
No, it's just talk.
It might
it's
be-
his conscience being verbal.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Like you could fully expect that he would say like I like that cologne. It smells good.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm a fan. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I repeat it all the time. I don't like the shit talking guys.
Right.
But I like Big Mouth. I like the words that come out of his mouth because it's just like, he's like, you know, it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have some fun. And
Well,
it does none of it even makes real sense. It's just fun. I like it.
he was getting his ass beat by Thiago Santos, and he was like, "Damn, you hit hard, man."
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
It's like, how can you not like that? you
Yeah.
know?
which
So,
it
I'm a
fascinates
fan.
me. It fascinates me because I'm thinking like that's valuable breath you're wasting.
Right.
You know?
That is that was the big
Yeah, in a
problem.
way, yeah.
That was the big problem with his last fight. Like, he is a good fighter, and he put together a 5-fight win streak. You know, he won 5 fights in a row, and then he goes out there saying he's not going to lose to Derek Brunson, and he literally gets his ass beat for 5 rounds against Derek Brunson, and
Yeah.
he's talking the whole time. And I agree with everyone's sentiments about that fight. It's like, okay, dude, you just lost three rounds in a row. Time to stop talking and like just shut up and at least put in some effort to stuff the takedowns at least, man.
But he
Like,
can't.
Yeah, he couldn't.
He just
really
can't do
couldn't.
it. It's just him.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just people's personalities. I mean,
Yeah.
So, but
So-
I hope he's fighting Vittori this weekend, and Vittori's he's like, you know, he's a top 10. He's higher than
well, Kevin Holland's not going to get an easy fight.
right,
Let's just face it.
right.
Yeah.
But if he goes out there and does something impressive, or does something completely opposite what he did a couple weeks ago, then he has a good shot of fighting for the title again. Or not again, but just fighting for the title against Izzy.
So you think if he wins this weekend?
Yes. So right now, okay, Izzy already said that Till needs to come out against Vittori and win, and he is the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
guy in line. Till's out of that fight, so why wouldn't the winner of that fight, regardless of whether it's Holland or Vittori, why wouldn't they get the next title shot? Because if Vittori went out there and beat Till, why wouldn't he have gotten the title shot? It was only Izzy really calling. Izzy really wants to fight Till because he feels like that would be a good matchup. And
Yeah.
I feel it would too. I'd
Yeah.
love to see that fight. But I mean, right
Yeah,
now,
I like that fight. I see your theory. I see what you're saying, and I remember Izzy saying that about Till,
yeah,
but with Kevin Holland coming off a loss,
right. I agree. I know what you're saying
And
too.
so I know Kevin Holland's been fighting a lot during Corona times,
Yeah,
But what is he in the UFC? Like
He's-
3-1?
Oh, I know that he's not even ranked top. I mean, if he is top 10, he's like 10. You know.
Well, I wasn't even talking about as far as rankings. I was just fights in general. I just
Oh, I'll tell you what.
not that I'd be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at Kevin Holland fighting Izzy.
He's like 24-6, I think.
Yeah, but in the UFC,
Yeah.
what is he in the UFC?
Oh yeah. I don't know what his UFC fights.
Yeah,
win,
because-
win ratio losses.
So
yeah.
basically, what had happened is like a fight had fell out, and they couldn't get anybody to fight. So finally, Dana White was like, "All right, call Big Mouth."
Right.
And that's where the nickname came from.
Right.
And then he's fought a few, 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times during COVID times,
Yeah.
which is impressive. You know, he's always there to answer that phone call. But I don't see Izzy agreeing to fighting.
I agree with you on that 100%. Izzy doesn't want to fight Holland because he feels like he hasn't deserved it yet.
Yeah.
He feels like he's not high enough contender.
And
for
I'll be
sure.
honest, I'm not trying to overlook anybody. That's not something I ever
Izzy
wanna
would
do.
smoke. I love Holland, but Izzy
Yeah.
would smoke Holland.
I think so.
Holland's technique, his fight IQ is not on the same
Not there
level
yet.
of Izzy's. And I
think
I
it
love
can
the
get
dude.
there.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I think it can get there.
Right.
I just think he's had a lot of success really, really fast.
Right. I agree with that too.
And,
Yeah.
and part of that's being that he doesn't say no.
He's
just-
likable. He's a likable guy.
He's a likable guy, and he fights.
Right.
You know, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
fight.
But he doesn't always win. And how he wins, because there was one of his wins in that 5-fight win streak that he was like, "Hey, I lost that fight to the judges," and he was like, "Well, that's not your." Dana White was like, "That's not your decision to make." He's like, "The judges said you won," even though he did get dominated on the ground for, like, you know, at least 1/3, an entire round of the fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's tough, man.
yeah,
I want to see Kevin Holland do good.
Right.
I want to see him be the champion someday. I think that'd be cool. But I don't think right now is his time. I think, a couple more years, maybe.
okay. I'm gonna build off of this a little bit. So that's the middleweight division. Another fight coming up in the middleweight division, and these are 2 top contenders. Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian. Have you ever seen Edmund Shabazian? He's only had 1 loss to Derek Brunson, and he was like another big hype train that was getting built by Dana and the UFC.
Yeah.
And then he gets dominated by Derek Brunson. But all of his, he's 9-1.
Well, I mean, it's Brunson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an animal.
But
Yeah.
that guy Edmund Shabazian, he's good though. I mean, he's had like knockout win after knockout win, and then he was 9-0 going into the Brunson fight, and then he gets beat by Brunson. So he's
9-1.
He's 10-1, yeah,
Oh, he's 10-1.
or 9-1, yeah. You're right, 9-1.
So, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know a whole lot about him, but so if you think, okay, so me not knowing much about this guy, my perspective, 9 fights as a professional is not that many,
Yeah,
especially at as high of a level as fighting Derek Brunson.
right.
Right.
So that doesn't really mean anything to me.
Right.
As that loss. There's still a lot of room to build.
Well, he's also
so that was his 10th fight as a professional.
Right.
I mean, dude, he's got a lot of room to grow. If that was his fighting Derek Brunson,
Yeah.
your 10th fight
For-
as a
for your
professional,
10th
that's
yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been more impressive things happen. There's been guys like Brennan Schaub, who's fought
Right.
like Crow Cop.
Yeah.
With
he knocked-
only
he knocked-
like
he knocked-
5 or
he
6
knocked him out.
Right.
He knocked him
yeah,
out.
with only like 5 or 6 professional fights, but
Right.
yeah, I would like to think that would give this guy room to grow still.
Hermanson's really good too. He's a great like submission artist. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
Hermanson.
So
But that's
Yeah.
that kid's weakness too. He got out wrestled by Brunson for 3 rounds. So if Hermanson's like good at grappling, it's not looking good for him either. But
Yeah.
Be interesting to see where it ends up.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I
It's
think
it's a good fight.
give him a little while. Give him a little while. He'll probably rise the ranks.
Right.
That's a big deal, man.
That is, yeah.
You know?
He's knocked out Brad Tavares, and Brad Tavares was ranked 9th whenever he knocked him out. And then Brunson and even Izzy have said Brad Tavares is a tough fight because they both fought him, Brad
Yeah.
Tavares, and
Yeah.
he is a good fighter.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So we have something else. What do we got coming up? Oh yeah, the full crowd fight.
Yes.
So I believe
Yes.
last weekend I mispronunciated it and I said like April 24th. It's actually April 27th. Is that correct?
I'm not entirely certain on that.
Yeah. So the full crowd fight, man, I'm pumped about it. Usman, Masvidal 2
Sold out in like minutes.
in minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Who do you got? Who do you got on the main event?
Usman's gonna smoke him again.
You think so?
I like Masvidal. I really do. Usman is not likable at all. Like I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's really not
likable.
But he is.
Masvidal is not super likable unless
Re-
you're like
recently, Masvidal hasn't been super likable. But when he was going on his run, like when he knocked out Till, and then he fastest KO Ben Askren,
Yeah.
and then he
that still hurts my
he-
heart a little bit.
Man, the Nate Diaz.
I actually really like Ben Askren.
I've been liking him now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
Fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah.
But I think Jake Paul's gonna knock him out.
I don't like Jake Paul, but I can admit that he's a better. Askren is not good with is not a good striker.
Hey,
in
Askren's
any
gonna
regard.
make some money, and dude, he's.
I hope he doesn't
Did
get
you know
knocked
that Askren does really well on YouTube as well?
I just found that out like 2
Like
days
I keep
ago.
going down these rabbit holes.
I
Like
can
I'll
see
ask you
it.
a question, and then you'll say something, and I go down these rabbit holes, and I apologize. ADHD, can't help it.
He is funny. Him and his wife, they do like stuff together. They
Yeah,
have YouTube
and his
videos.
kids.
I saw
didn't know
the
you had
Rocky
kids.
montage.
Or a
Yes,
kid
that's
with-
what I watched
Yeah.
too.
Dude, that was
the
so
Rocky
good.
montage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so good. But yeah, yeah, that was awesome. But sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so
you're good.
so you think Usman's gonna dominate?
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Masvidal catches him, but Usman showed in his last fight against Burns that his striking. Trevor Whitman's his coach now. I mean, he's got that jab Justin Gaethje's got. That straight
Oh
fuck
man,
Tony
that jab's
Ferguson up.
nasty. One of the nastiest jabs in MMA today, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it really, yeah. Trevor Whitman, man, that guy does not get enough praise, and I like that he's like even stepped out. Like he used to, like they'll bring him on UFC fights, and they'll be like, like the commentators, Joe, DC, they'll be like, Trevor, what do you think of this fighter's striking? And then he'd like give a small breakdown.
Yeah.
He really is, him, Trevor Whitman. I can't even think of the other guy's name now. Mike Brown, is that his name? Something Brown.
Not sure. Matt Brown?
Matt Brown.
The
No,
Immortal?
not the UFC
Out of-
fighter.
yeah.
There's a UFC coach. I think his name is Mike Brown. I could be wrong.
The one that used to fight, used to be out of Florida. I think he was American Top Team
Yeah.
guy. Is that
I was
the
gonna
same
say,
guy?
if
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say because
yes.
Matt Brown's out of Ohio. I actually
Right.
got to meet him at Corey's fight.
Did you really?
Yeah, they were in the locker room next to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
He's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter.
Dude, his team. So he had a couple of amateurs fighting that night, and
Yeah, I watched him.
tell you about smoke shows. These boys were chiseled. Like one of them was the first fight of the night, I do believe. And he was only like he was like a flyweight. He was like a 125er. Yeah, I think he was Hawaiian. Dude, fat. I was watching him warm up. Just a handsome little dude, fast as lightning. Like what am I even watching? Am I watching like perfection
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
when this kid was warming up? And I even told I didn't say those words, but I was like, dude, I'm like basically we ended up like kind of buddying up with because they were in the tent next to us because the locker rooms were kind of tense at the event we were at.
Where was this at?
The Hard Rock promotion. And so we had three guys fight. We had three guys fighting. We had Corey, Joe Bobe, and Zach McGavick. And so the locker room right next to us was the Immortals or
Yeah.
whatever that team's called, but it was Matt Brown's camp. Matt Brown was right there. And they, like I said, they had this little flyweight Hawaiian guy who was just a lightning bolt,
beast.
dude. Just a lightning bolt. And then they had a heavyweight, and he was tall and kind of lean. I mean, he's a heavyweight, so he's a little thick, but he was pretty lean. And dude, when he would kick these pads, it was just like ruptured the whole room.
Right.
And it was just amazing to watch
Yeah.
this guy warm up.
Was he Hawaiian too, the bigger guy?
No, he wasn't. He was just a white guy, and he was fighting for the title. So he was fighting the champion. He ended up winning. Both of them
Wow.
guys ended up winning,
Wow.
and yeah, it was a cool experience
Yeah.
to be next to, and they were both amateurs, the two fighting, but Matt Brown was there.
Yeah.
So you knew these amateurs were good.
They've got futures because
Right.
he thinks enough of them to
That he was there cornering them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you knew as soon as you seen him, watching these guys warm up, telling the guys holding the mitts and the pads what to do. You knew, okay, he's invested in these two amateurs. There's something about them.
And there's a reason.
And then you watch them, and it's just like, yeah, that's why. But the heavyweight fight, the heavyweight guy, that fight, he basically did what he wanted the first round or two. I think it went the distance.
Wow.
But like the first round, I'm going to kick you in the leg, I'm going to kick you in the body, I'm going to kick you in the head. You know, that's kind of how that went.
Right.
And then the champion, rightfully so, he was the champ. And he was the champ for a reason. He started to kind of catch on and pick up on these things.
Right.
And it ended up being a really good fight. But, you know, Matt
Yeah.
Brown's guy ended up winning. I think I don't want to mispronunciate. I think his last name was Kinsey.
Okay.
But
I watched
I'll pull
it,
up the
but
videos when we're off air. You guys got to watch them. I mean, they were. The little Hawaiian kid was super impressive. Dude, that
I know I
fight was
watched
so
it live,
fast.
but I just can't
Yeah.
remember that specifically.
What weight class was the Hawaiian kid?
Flyweight,
Flyweight?
125.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And yeah, the dude he fought was really good. He was a local. The guy he fought, he was like the promotion local. And like I said, the Matt Brown's camp was out of Ohio, maybe Cleveland. They actually invited us out to like.
Did you go with him?
We haven't went out there yet. I think we're going to. The jiu-jitsu coach, I can't remember his name. Super cool guy. Was real impressed with our guys, but we talked to him quite a bit in the locker room. We didn't get to talk to Matt Brown much. He was on a mission,
Right.
and nobody wants to be that douchey guy that's like.
And he doesn't come across as the most approachable, which could be entirely untrue, but
Yeah, I don't know.
But just from appearances.
Right.
That's the vibe I got a little bit. He is a nice guy. He seemed like a really nice guy. But I knew he was on a mission. He was there for a job. I was there for a job as well. You know, I was there to help warm the guys up and corner them and this and that. But you can't help but fanboy
Yeah.
when you see Matt Brown,
Yeah, absolutely.
or when you see any UFC fighter,
Right.
at that matter.
Right.
I mean, we were in the elevator with Chris Lytle.
Really?
I couldn't help but fanboy on that
Right.
one.
Yeah.
And I've met Chris Lytle like 3 or 4 times now. He was at one of my fights. He commentated one of my fights.
Did he really?
Yeah. But yeah, I've met him at least 3 times, maybe more. But he was in the elevator, and I couldn't help but fanboy on him. Like, it's hard not to.
Did you say anything to him or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So with Matt Brown, I think I just, like I said, their little tent was right next to ours. So in passing, he was sitting there. Not a lot going on at the moment. But I think my exact words were, "Look, man, I know you're on a mission tonight, and you're not trying to hear it, but you're a legend. And I respect you so freaking much, guy. Come here, bring it in." No, I didn't say the bring it in part. But I think I got to shake his hand, and I haven't washed it since.
Was he? He was cool about it though. Obviously, he was.
No, yeah, he was cool.
real nice.
The Bobes, which, hey, well deserved on the Bobes. So Zach had won. Beautiful fight. So Zach and his guy had a really nice fight. The guy he fought, like that guy kneed him 2 or 3 times in the face.
Wow.
And they went to war.
Yeah.
And Zach had won very beautifully. Super proud of him. Promoter comes back right after Zach's fight and was like, "Dude, wait." You know, he's
Yeah.
talking to me. He's like, "Dude, nice."
Great fight. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, "Man, you're serious, huh?"
Right.
Like, because we're new to that promotion. I'm like, yeah. And then Joe had fought, and he fought this Hawaiian guy.
That was the white Hawaiian.
The white Hawaiian. And just this aggression that came out in Joe Bob. Like, so I didn't corner Joe because it's his brother Cody's job to do that, and then obviously the head coach Brian.
Yeah.
That's their job to do that. So I didn't corner him. So after walking him out, I ran back to the locker room and watched it on the TV because they had TV set up everywhere. And we were with the Immortal guys, like Matt Brown's guys. I think we were all kind of talking back and forth. And it was obvious that the locker room was more for the white Hawaiian guy. And me and Corey Moon are just like, oh, yeah, Joe. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
and Joe just unleashed
Man,
the
sometimes that's
freaking
what it
Kraken.
takes is like everyone against you to.
Yeah, unleashed the Kraken. And me and Corey are all like, yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah. And everybody's just kind of like, pulling their hats down.
Of course.
And, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, the promoter ended up coming back again. And then where I was going with all this is once that it seemed like the Immortals, the tent next to us, Matt Brown's tent, realized that we're serious dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They like really kind of opened up to us a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah.
And we got to talk to them quite a bit. We got invited to come do like a weekend or like an open
nice
mat.
of them to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Which we get a lot of those invites, but it's hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to
of course.
travel
Yeah.
too far, especially since like we're at Anvil. We're constantly learning. We really are. It's hard to take everything in.
It's too much input. It's better to
There's
pace,
so
pace
much
yourself.
input.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you almost don't really want to do a lot of those. I completely encourage cross training. I mean, I think everybody should cross train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But I get it on another aspect of like we are still learning.
Overloading
regularly.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and overloading. Because that's what we focus on is downloading
Right.
and downloading. And we never really stop learning at Anvil. Like Brian's just this like infinite well
Forever
of
changing,
knowledge.
yeah.
Well, because he's always learning himself, so.
And he's always learning himself, I think. Yeah, and he's that way to where he never stops learning.
What's his name? Brian.
Brian Stone. Yeah.
Brian Stone. And that's at Anvil and
Yeah,
on Second Street
Anvil.
in Vincennes.
Yep. Yeah. Even he never lets himself get comfortable. I'll say
Right.
that. He's always reading books. He's always studying. He's always taking in information from even other people.
Mhm.
You know, he's such a great coach. Really, I mean, he's got the mentality side of it down. Like us three sitting in this room are completely different people.
Right.
And it wouldn't take him very long to download how to handle each of our personalities
Right.
and what's going to drive each of us.
Yeah, he
like,
can adjust his style to what.
Yeah, I feel like he struggled a little bit with me because I'm so what seems like flatline. Like you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what's going to drive me or what's going to push me
little
away.
harder to read.
Yeah, I'm a little harder to read, but he's figured it out somehow. Like if I'm in training camp, he knows exactly what's going to make me.
He can adapt to different fighters really
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. Back to that night, there was another podcast that had went on that week, and it was analysis. It was breakdowns of that card.
Yeah.
Nothing bad had gotten said about Zach or Joe, but they definitely got overlooked
Right.
in that podcast.
Right.
And he knew how to word that and dig that in them boys' brains to where they were just like laser
Focused.
Focused.
Yeah.
and it was just like, especially with Zach.
I'm
You know,
I'll
Joe-
make sure you talk about me next time.
Yeah, exactly. Joe's got this switch that flips no matter what when it's competition time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's this nice, goofy guy. I always go back to he's Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
But when it comes to competition, he's got this switch that he can just flip on. Even in the gym, a lot of times. Like if it's like serious night, like if it's fight camp and it's time to grind, dude, that boy can flip that switch on and make your night really, really hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Zach's similar in a way,
Mhm.
but for whatever it was, Brian knew exactly what to say to Zach to just really flip that focus switch on.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Zach? And what
Oh, Zach's only like 22 or 23.
what division is he in? Or what?
He fights at 170, which
Really?
I think
Wow.
he's going to go to 155, and then Joe fights at 185, and I think eventually he'll end up going
What do you
to
what do you
170.
fight at?
I was fighting at 135 and 145.
Really?
Yeah.
How much weight do you have to cut to?
Well, I mean, like right now, I'd have to cut like 40 pounds probably.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
But,
that's crazy.
But I mean, if I were to fight again,
How long does it take you to cut that much weight? I mean, weeks, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, if I'm in
It's
shape,
different.
if
It's
I'm in,
different.
if I'm in shape. So if I'm in shape, I'm at like, I'm walking around at like 160 pounds.
that's what I pretty much. That's what I walk around at.
Yeah. So I'm not really in shape right now. So I'm like 175, maybe 180. But yeah, I mean, dude, I can do 15 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
So it's all water,
Right.
but energy comes with that, and
Of course.
some strength.
Right.
But yeah, like right now, like we'll just say 180. If I decided today that I was going to fight, within, I don't know, by July, I can make 145 pounds pretty easy, probably.
Could you make? Wouldn't you like the whole thing about cutting weight? Could you go down to 135? Because I mean, you would
Yes.
be a bigger. You would be
Well,
a bigger.
well, typically I've always fought.
What is that? Is that bantam? What is 135? Bantam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So historically, I've always fought at 135. I've only fought my beginning fights at 145 pounds. It's like my first 2 fights I fought at 145, and
There's some big guys in there that just like cut down.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, I mean, but now I carry around a lot more muscle.
Yeah.
Than
You
then.
seem bulked up.
Yeah, I'm pretty thick right now, thick boy.
Thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, not 3. Yeah, I mean, I had a fight back in October scheduled for 145 pounds, and I was at that point. I was 2 weeks out, and I was 152 before it got canceled due to COVID.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, but I put.
Where was it at? Where was it gonna?
That was going to be in Linton.
Indiana.
Yeah,
Was
Okay.
it Linton or Sullivan? Linton?
Linton. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
That's
Linton.
not that far. I mean.
No, yeah. So I had that fight scheduled, and then COVID happened, and then, is what it is. But I was in like the best shape that I've been in, maybe ever. Like as far as
Right.
just definitely technique wise, but like my explosiveness was just through the roof because Brian had been not only training me, but he had been going to the gym with me and had me specifically working out a certain way, like lifting weights a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was just super explosive, and I feel like I would have been quite the problem for almost anybody
Right.
in the local area at that time. But COVID had happened, and it got canceled, and maybe not the worst thing ever because my wife and daughter like revealed it to me like they were relieved.
Yeah. Of course.
Like,
Yeah. I imagine
like
we're.
they were basically glad
Yeah.
that it got canceled.
Yeah.
They really just. My wife is kind of teetering on that fence a little bit.
I can't imagine what
My daughter.
other people go through for fighters when they're gonna fight. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
it's not
it's
much
just-
to the fighter, but to their loved ones.
No, it's a lot.
it is
It's a lot
It
all
is
the way
a lot.
around. It's a lot all the way around.
It is.
It's hard. It's really hard for Dixie,
Yeah. I imagine.
especially my last fight. It didn't bother me any at the time, but I had gotten spiked. So the guy I fought like picked a single leg and just spiked me over.
Yeah. I remember that.
It
What
didn't-
do you mean spiked?
So like he literally
Like
dropped,
slammed, but more on his neck than on his back.
Yeah.
Really?
Basically.
but it didn't bother me when it happened at all.
Right.
But apparently to the crowd, it was a really scary thing.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, that exact same night in China or Japan, somebody had gotten knocked out that exact same way.
Wow.
Like, because Joe Stevenson showed me the video after I had won. Like, in the cage, he showed me the little highlight video
Uh-huh.
on his phone. He's like, dude, this guy just got literally just now got knocked out by that same thing that happened to you. It didn't bother me when it happened. I'm used to getting thrown. I train with a lot of wrestlers and stuff like that, so sometimes I get thrown. It's a thing, and I've learned how to land. But it really scared my daughter. It
Yeah.
really, really scared her.
Oh my God. Yeah,
And,
I imagine.
So back to the whole, it's hard on everybody. It's hard on the fighter because it's,
You're feeling it physically,
well, mentally mostly.
Yeah, for sure.
Physically, the physical part's easy.
Right. That's second. That comes
yeah,
second to.
that comes second. Do you remember? Was there ever a point in like school where somebody was like, "I'm going to beat your ass after school," and that was in like the morning, and then you had all day to think about it, and then after school you had to meet that person?
No.
You never had that experience?
No, unfortunately.
So it's kind of like that, even though you never experienced it.
I can imagine the mental anguish.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying.
But it's kind of like that, but for 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, but the
Way
difference is, this guy's actually training. This
Right.
guy that's saying he's
Right.
going to beat your ass.
He's going to work every day to
He's
do it.
he's training to do it every single day.
Right.
And then if I don't train harder than him, which is kind of a dumb theory.
No, it's
'Cause-
not. No, it's not.
It's kind of a dumb theory. It really is, because training harder isn't always smarter.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
There are proper ways to train. Just
Right.
going and flipping a tractor tire all day every day and punching a bag all day doesn't necessarily make you a better fighter.
Like that.
Makes you
Like that Vasily guy, that Russian slapper. That's what he does.
yeah. So it doesn't actually make you a better fighter. You might be a little bit better conditioned
Right.
by doing things like that. But yeah, you got that. Like, this guy's actually legitimately, like, if he is training better than I am, he's going to beat me. So I've got to train better than he is.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got the conscious battle of, like, it's always going to be in the back of your head, like, train harder, get better.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the case.
How it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's multifaceted. Like, and I don't say this so much from experience, but like as a fighter, but just having competed in a lot of things throughout my life, as a competitor, it's not necessarily the fear of getting beat up or hurt. It's this, like, I take pride in being good at this,
Exactly.
and it's going to hurt my pride real bad.
Right.
And be embarrassing if I lose. The world goes on.
Right.
Yeah.
50% of people lose their fights, but
Exactly.
but there's that thing. It's not just like if I go out and play a game of slow pitch softball, I'm not supposed to be the best guy out there. I'm out there having fun. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But trained fighters go out there knowing, like, this is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And I expect to be good at this.
Right.
And so it's going to be like soul crushing.
And
If
then and then there's the embarrassment factor.
How can you live with yourself? Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard to
The
live with.
one fight I lost,
You've only lost one.
I've only lost one, and I never got
what's your
finished.
record?
I'm 5-1.
Damn,
5-1.
son.
Yeah, and I lost to
Go
a
pro.
yeah. Nah, I think I'm done fighting. But I lost to a split decision, so like a hairline decision.
Right.
And a lot of people thought I won. Obviously, I didn't because I lost. But dude, it was devastating to me. It was like, dude, I'm not invincible.
Right.
Because every male,
Because it was
every
you started
male,
4-0.
yeah, every male has an ego,
Mm-hmm.
whether they know it or not.
Especially going into it being undefeated.
Yeah, and oh yeah, dude, like I was as emotional about losing that fight as I
Right.
was about losing my brother.
Damn.
Like it,
Yeah,
like
that's
because I trained so hard.
right.
Like
That's your life. That's what you're
yeah,
doing.
I was putting so many hours into training and just getting beat up in the gym and
Right.
beating people up and blood and sweat, and then it's just taken away from you.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's just like,
Well, and then you have people who don't know anything about it. They
don't,
see
yeah.
they see the loss and they're just like, oh, he ain't
That's the
shit.
only thing they focus on. Yeah.
Yeah, he,
Yeah.
ain't, he I guess he ain't shit after all.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, yeah.
but you can't have that discussion with everybody. You can't sit them down and watch the film and be like, look, I am a good fighter, but here's what
It's a
happened.
split decision loss. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
yeah,
So you just like,
yeah, it's tough, man. Dude, the fight industry's rough,
It is. Yeah.
and there's
Everything's a fight. Like it's
Everything's a
not,
fight.
everything is a fight.
Yeah.
In it. Yeah.
and even your victories are a fight,
Right.
because I'm not like the nicest guy in the world, but I feel like I am a pretty nice guy, and I really, really, actually don't like hurting people.
Right.
Like I'm a gamer, I'm competitive, and I want to win,
Right.
but I feel like if I were to actually ever hurt somebody like really bad, I would take that worse than an L.
Right.
Like I feel like I could get knocked out easier than I could probably actually knock somebody out.
Permanently screw someone up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a big mental factor for that with me, like on why I'm not super resistant on I mean, I'm pretty resistant because I do want to compete again, but like when my family doesn't at all want it, so I don't push back super hard on it.
Do your parents come to your fights?
No. My
Yeah.
dad would crawl.
Right.
My dad would crawl in that cage, and my mom would cry.
Yeah. Horrific.
Yeah.
I love your parents, man. I haven't seen them in forever. But
Yeah, well,
they're great people, man.
You have to go see them after
Yeah.
this week. They got COVID, so poor people.
They'll be all right. They'll
Yeah.
pull through.
Well, I hope Dad's struggling with it pretty
Is he
bad.
really?
Yeah, yeah, because he got like triple hit. So
How old is he?
he's like 60.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
60s. Yeah.
He's got strep and COVID,
Oh, wow.
and he's got heart disease, which he said, he had a heart attack back when we were in high school, like our senior year. I don't know if
Really?
you remember that?
Vaguely, yes. Yeah.
So
I remember you saying. I remember.
yeah,
you
so
bringing it
he's having a hard time with it. Like he's having a hard time getting better. Like technically, he should be out of quarantine right now, but yeah, he can't even hardly get out of bed.
Started from behind.
Yeah.
Basically.
up. Yeah.
And then my mom's doing pretty well. She's her quarantine's lifted. I got to see her for a minute today.
She taking care of your dad.
Yeah, I got to see her. I machined a couple urns at work.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I got to give her one of them today, but I couldn't get very close. Like I got from me to you, and she started spraying me with Lysol. No, like I'm not kidding. Like she literally, like I went to hand her the urn from like me to you away, and she's like spraying me with Lysol, and I'm like, Mom, what the what the
Yeah,
heck? She's
yeah.
like, I just don't want you to get sick. I'm like,
Not gonna risk it.
yeah. I'm like, you're not even quarantined anymore. But still,
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm pretty sure that I just got over it myself.
Yeah.
Because I went to the doctor because I was really sick.
You have
And
COVID?
well, they didn't test me. My daughter had went the week prior, and they sent her for a COVID test, and negative. So they brought her back to the doctor, and they tested her for strep, and she was positive. Well, during my brother's service, Josh's service, my oldest brother Jeff and his friend were really sick, and they couldn't even get out of the truck. They're like,
Wow.
we don't know what's going on. We were really sick. Anyway, so fast forward. So when I went to the doctor, they're like, well, your daughter had strep, so we're just going to test you for strep first. And I looked the strep test up. They gave me antibiotics. Never got better. Like, just did not feel good. And I'm like, well, maybe the antibiotics are acting weird on me or whatever. Almost a week goes by. My mom and dad had been sick for several days.
Yeah.
They finally went and got COVID tested. My dad lit up for strep and COVID and had basically all the same symptoms that I had had.
That's cool that it also came up for strep throat too. That they can identify that as
Yeah.
well as whatever's wrong with them, they can identify.
Well, they tested. I'm trying to remember the order of that. Maybe my dad went first. They tested him for strep because strep was going around in the family,
Right.
and he lit up for it. And then my mom ended up going, and they tested her for COVID, and she lit up for COVID. And then my dad wasn't feeling good. The antibiotic, because like when you have strep, your antibiotics usually make you feel a little bit better after 24 hours.
right.
So he went again, had COVID, and this has been almost 2 weeks ago now. My mom feels fine. She lost quite a bit of weight on it. Apparently her appetite and stuff was lost. But my dad still doesn't feel very well. They're both technically lifted off the quarantine,
Yeah.
but Dad still can't
He's
hardly
just
get
still
out of
battling.
bed. So he actually went to the hospital the other day because he's got heart disease or whatever, and his chest was hurting him, and he had acid reflux, and they just pumped him full of fluids and sent him home.
Right.
But so, yeah. All right. So my nephew joined us.
Hello. I'm back.
Tyler's back again.
Yep. Guess who's back? It's me.
Look,
It's the
he's looking at the camera.
I know. I don't.
the better looking one in the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't-
say he's here for the
He's here for the limelight.
physical.
I
one
don't know
without
what
a
to do with
beard.
my hands.
Yeah, you're the only person in here without a beard.
I got a mustache.
A mustachio question.
That's what I got.
So the question I have, what are you most excited about upcoming UFC fight cards?
That's There's a lot of good stuff coming next few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next few months, actually.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with this Francis and John Jones fight.
Yeah.
But,
we know Jones is going to win.
we say
Jones is
that.
going to win, and he's going to be the greatest of all time. He's going to secure it. We've
90
already talked about it.
96 horsepower Ford Escort. That's not hilarious. That's
Yes.
how they market Francis. It's like he has the power of a 96 horsepower Ford Escort.
Honestly, I think I'm really excited for this Chandler Oliveira.
Yeah.
I actually am too.
Yeah.
That is a.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The Francis Jones fight's awesome.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. Super fight. Yeah.
But the 155 division's the most intriguing. Right now.
Absolutely. It's always has
deep.
been. It always has
Very
been.
deep.
Always. I would say always of 2020, 2021.
No, McGregor, Khabib. I just mean like
Oh yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun division because it's the right weight to have that knockout power
right.
and the technical abilities and the speed. It's
Right.
all there.
Right.
It's all there in the
That
155
division has the best aspects of every division.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I also really like the welterweight division, even though it's
I do
not.
too. I
it's
do
not
too.
super deep at the moment. Like
Right.
nobody's really covering it
Right.
really hard. But yeah, I agree. The 155 division is the most intriguing.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And Chandler Oliveira, I think Chandler takes it.
Oh,
By the
no
way.
doubt.
Man, I like Chandler when he first came in, but now like seeing like he's won one fight against a ranked 5 opponent.
But
one fight, one
think
fight.
about all the fights he won at Bellator. He was the
He
face of
also got
Bellator
beat. He
for
got beat.
years.
He got beaten Bellator not that long ago at 145.
He did.
And that's like that was Khabib's like point was like I'm not. He's like Chandler was the backup to the Gaethje Khabib fight.
Well, Habib would smash
Maul him,
Chandler.
and yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not too many people are gonna touch Habib ever.
Ever, yeah.
Islam's gonna come up. Islam's gonna be the champion, according to Habib. But I'm gonna take Habib's word
Islam's
for
a
it.
beast, dude.
I'm gonna take Habib's word for it. I think Islam will be the champion
He's a beast.
in the next year and a half. But I really like Michael Chandler. I think he's an awesome person.
He's a great
I
fighter.
love
He's
his
a good
fight. He
fighter.
might be my next favorite fighter.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if you
he's
ever
just
see
a
like
good
interviews and
dude.
like stuff
Yeah.
with his adopted kid, he
I
had.
didn't know that.
He was on
Yeah.
he was on Food Truck Diaries with Brennan Schaub
I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen that.
here a bit back, like a couple months back, maybe a month back.
It was
just
right
a
after
cool-
the Dan Hooker fight.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
oh.
after the Dan Hooker fight.
I wouldn't be
just a cool
I wouldn't
dude,
be
man.
overlooking Olivier though because that dude. I mean,
Oliveira?
Yeah. Do you see what he did to
Oliveira.
Ferguson?
Oliveira. I'm gonna call him
Oliveira.
Oliveira.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we know Gaethje made Ferguson look really bad. But I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think
Charles
that
did
was
the
just
same
a
thing.
timing thing.
Yeah.
By the way,
He was on a 12-fight win streak. Ferguson was. That's insane.
how do you not get complacent on a 12-fight win streak? How do you not feel like, okay, well, I'm the best?
You would think that around like the 9th, 10th, or 11th, or even 12th fight.
But here's the
like-
other thing. I'm not making any excuses because Gaethje is another one of my favorite fighters.
Oh, I love him. Yeah, he's great.
I love him as a person even.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
There's something about him that's just likable.
Right.
He's
You remind me of Gaethje, dude. For real.
well, maybe.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. Gaethje would beat the dog shit out of me.
I just mean
But,
your personalities and how you guys look. Like you have like similar. I'm not even talking about
Yeah.
fighting aspects. I just
Well, normally I just get like people tell me I look like Charlie Hunnam, but
God damn.
like Jax Teller or whatever. But
it's the blonde beard.
maybe. But yeah, there's something about Gaethje that I just really like and adore. Like, not like just his fighting style.
Right.
His fighting style is amazing, by the way. Like that. Who couldn't love somebody that just like is willing to collide? You know, like he says, like
Yeah.
a couple
Right.
like
Sorry.
a couple vehicles colliding.
I'm
or whatever.
distracted because I missed a joke and it's too late to go back.
No, go back, go back. What was the joke?
Wait, what joke?
Well, you were being compared to Gaethje, and I was gonna say, no, people call you the Gaethje. It's too late though. The moment.
No, it's never too late. It's never too
I'm
late.
just sitting here
capitalized.
like, God damn, it's too late.
No, it's not.
I
Never
got-
too late.
never
I
too
got
late.
my own world there.
But
Go ahead, Gaethje.
but yeah, and then you got his personality. He's a family man. He loves his mom and dad. And,
Yeah, yeah.
that's relatable.
Right.
Like, as an American,
Right.
how do you not
Yeah.
love somebody like that?
Yeah.
And then like Habib,
Yeah.
being like knowing that Gaethje's family was sitting front row.
And the way he finished him, he
Yeah,
didn't want to
yeah.
break his arm in the
Yeah, he
arm
didn't
bar,
wanna break
so
his
he-
arm,
So
yeah.
he taps him out in
That
the
was
triangle.
cool.
Yeah,
choke.
just like what an amazing fight overall.
Right,
like
right.
obviously Gaethje didn't
I was
do.
pulling for Gaethje in that fight, honestly.
I was too.
really
too.
was.
Yeah, and it's
It's just so.
I'm
hard
not
to-
ashamed
yeah.
to admit that I was pulling for Gaethje in that fight.
I'm not at all.
I guess I knew that.
I always knew
Khabib.
Khabib was gonna win. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Khabib was going to win, but there's just something.
You want to see.
There's just something about Gaethje that you just want to see him do well.
Not to
Yeah.
mention that, just any fighter that's never lost. I mean, you kind of want to see them like. I hate Israel Adesanya. I hate that guy.
I'm not a fan.
I do
either.
not like
I'm
him
not a fan.
at all.
I'm not a fan.
And
either.
I was so happy when Jan.
But
beat
he has
him.
that cocky arrogance about him.
He really does. He really does. He's like, I can see why he's likable to his fans, and I can see why he's unlikable to the people like me that don't like him.
Yeah.
You know, I can see both. Both aspects. It's just, certain fighters have that.
Yeah.
Just like Colby, like he's either
Yeah.
loved or hated. There's no in between.
So I've actually done a little bit of studying up on Colby.
I like him actually. I do like him.
That's completely a persona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
I've seen that.
Completely.
Yeah.
Like
It's for money. It's for money. It's for
yeah.
marketing.
Like there's a bunch of people that know him
Right.
that say that he is actually a legitimately good guy.
I watched a video of it. I watched a video of him talking to a fan. Like he wasn't doing any like
Of the persona stuff.
none of it. None of
Yeah.
it. And he was telling him to work hard. He's like, if you really want to be a UFC fighter and a champion, he's like, you got to do what I did. He's like, you got to go to the gym every day. When they're out partying, you got to be at the gym, just
Yeah.
putting in work, That's the only way you can be a champion is if you put in the work.
Right. Yeah, so maybe I'm a fan of him. Obviously, he's a Trump supporter, so that's cool. We just lost half our fans on that one.
And I say we do not discuss politics.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we don't discuss politics.
but
Um,
it is cool.
But yeah, so yeah, Colby's cool.
He's a persona, and I mean, you either like him or you don't. But I mean, he's still entertaining. Bottom line, whether
Yeah.
you don't like him. or
Well,
not.
that's the industry.
right.
So
I love it. I really do. I love UFC. I love MMA even. UFC aside, but still MMA. What do you think of Yoel Romero versus Anthony Rumple Johnson?
I think Yoel takes that.
Yeah,
Sucks that it's not happening for the UFC.
I know.
but-
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the UFC. I think they made a big mistake. Cutting a lot of their roster, like they've been saying. Like they said, they're going to let a lot of guys go. They let Yoel go. They let Junior Dos Santos just go. They let
Yeah.
Alistair Overeem go.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
those are
about to-
big draws.
About to get
for-
rid of Woodley. Woodley's about to be gone.
Yeah, he will be gone for sure.
Which understandably on that one.
Yeah. 4
understandably, but it
losses.
still sucks. And he's
Yeah.
39.
Yeah.
He's like coming up on 40. So.
Yeah.
And I didn't think he was that old. He doesn't look that old.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
So I agree with the UFC cuts, but I disagree with them.
Right. Right.
I feel like they're cutting a lot of the wrong people.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, they have to make room on the rosters. At the end of the day, the UFC is still a business. They don't have endless pockets. Nobody has endless pockets, So
But what they don't, I gotta say this. Dana White, he knows he has a whole roster of like up and coming young fighters that are willing to do anything for him.
Exactly.
But what he doesn't have is those big name draws that will draw money. Like when you let Yoel Romero go, when you let Alistair Overeem go,
Yeah.
Junior Dos Santos, those guys are drawing more money than.
It's a give and take because you want the big draws and these guys are established and they're going to bring fans, and also that they're probably capped out.
Yes.
And they're not.
Past their prime, way
Yeah.
past their prime.
And so, you do want to invest in the future. I get it, and also you can pay those other guys less. You can kind of tell them what to do a little.
There's
more.
risk involved, but it's a calculated risk that he's willing to take.
So it's
Yeah.
like, do you want to take a bigger draw today
right,
at the risk of a potential big?
right.
I don't know.
I can see
Yeah.
both sides of it.
yeah. What do you think, Ty?
I think that the future of the UFC is looking real good. A lot of good talent coming in, which
I
that's
agree.
what I'm excited about. A lot of good talent coming in.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there.
A
No, I
lot.
won't. I won't be there because I won't fight again. But
Tough coaches.
yeah,
Tough 29.
is Tough coming back?
Volkanovski is the coach, and Ortega is the other coach.
No
they
way.
were supposed to do the champion. They were supposed to fight for the belt. Ortega was supposed to fight for the belt.
Last
Yeah.
It
week.
got canceled because of COVID. Because Volkanovski got COVID. Now they're making it. Those are the two tough coaches for Tough 29.
I am so
The Ultimate
happy
Fighter
Tough is
29.
coming back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But they're gonna do some bullshit and they're gonna put it on like ESPN Plus.
That's what they said it's going to be on. It's going
Yeah.
to be on ESPN Plus.
Of course.
I don't have it.
I don't have it
mind.
either.
I have it,
I don't have
so
it.
I don't care.
It's
I
so.
don't have it.
That's what sucks is like. Obviously, I'm super pro UFC, and
Right.
whatever Dana White decides, so be it. Or whoever else the brass in charge is. But it sucks that it's not really that accessible yet for rural
Right. That
communities.
Is true. That's
like,
true.
Like myself. Like, so I have my nephew's ESPN Plus password, but I don't get good enough internet service out here to really stream anything.
What
Right.
internet services do you guys get out here?
We have HughesNet,
HughesNet. Yeah.
which is fine.
You don't have Frontier or anything else.
No, not out here. No.
I don't vouch for
Frontier doesn't
anyway.
quite reach.
Really? They
yeah.
should. Crap.
Not in my house.
Yeah.
I don't.
I've never heard anything good about
Really?
Frontier.
Actually, I had Frontier at my last house, and it was amazing.
Really.
That's what I was.
Well,
I've only
mine-
had Frontier for a year, and they've only like my internet's only went out like 2 different times, and they've had it fixed relatively quickly. So I can't say too much bad about them.
Yeah, if
but-
you're in their range, Frontier's amazing.
But I live in Lawrenceville. But
Yeah.
like anyone who lives out in the country,
Dude, I lived when I had Frontier. I lived 6 miles south of Lawrenceville, and my Frontier was amazing.
That's not
See,
that
that's-
bad.
Like we could stream on 3 different devices,
All at the same time.
no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me because we live smack in the middle of Olney.
Really?
And we have Frontier.
Crap
and
service.
I've got a Fire Stick, and I try to do all the streaming stuff, and it's so hit and miss. It's
Right.
so sketchy, and it's like I couldn't be more in the center of town.
Yeah.
Like what am I missing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just wait till Elon Musk's internet comes out. You'll be golden.
Wasn't
My-
that crazy?
my
That's what
sister's already
pisses
on the
me
waiting
off.
list
We're
for
sending
it.
people to
She's
Mars,
already
but
on
we
board.
can't get good internet in rural communities.
Elon Musk's working on it.
my guy Elon, help me, Elon.
Yeah, bail us out.
Yeah.
Let me look right into the camera. Elon Musk, if you're listening, we need help.
But
Is there alcohol in this?
yeah,
Is there?
Whoa, put it down, put it down, put it down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
No wonder-
Put it
Nah,
down.
they didn't see anything.
Cancel.
I didn't
We're
see-
off.
my hand was
Sorry.
in the way. I didn't
so
know how alcohol in it.
it's all good.
What percentage is it?
It'll all
Like
come out
5?
I have no, it's not that high.
Okay.
It's like a beer.
2.5?
Yeah, it's
Can,
like a beer.
can Jamie blur things? Have we figured that out yet?
He will.
He
Where are you
knows how
gonna
to do
you gonna fake show your wiener?
Well, I mean, I was going the direction of the brands, but since you mentioned it,
But so Mike, you mentioned some childhood story stuff, and we didn't quite get into it yet.
Oh, there's a bunch of stories.
There was a bunch.
Oh man, what do you want to get into?
Yeah, whatever you're feeling, man.
Well, there's the one story that we already went over on Messenger where we were like fishing for, was it buffalo carp?
Yeah, buffalo and carp. Yeah,
And carp.
Yeah,
And these fish were huge. But we were on your four wheeler in the woods, but it was like the woods was flooded, so there was back.
yeah.
The
We
woods
called
was
it the
flooded.
backwaters.
Yeah, backwaters from
Yeah.
the river. The river came up,
Yeah.
flooded the woods, and then the river went back down. But the water was still there in the woods, and the fish were in there, and we would just ride up. You're driving your 300 Honda 300 EX, and I was on the back, and I got like a net, and you're like, "There's one right there," and I'd scoop them up,
Yeah,
And
I remember that. That was awesome.
and then you just take off up that big hill.
Yeah.
There's a big hill, and we get up that hill, and then we just ride up to your house, next to your house, that pond, and just throw them in.
Yeah, I remember that.
Stock in that pond with buffalo and carp.
Man, the good old days.
Those were good. And I remember another time
We
were-
broke the net like every time we
Yeah,
caught.
yes, we did.
Anytime we caught one more than like 10
We
pounds.
started using like a 5-gallon bucket, I think, after a while.
Yeah, I think we did.
And
Yeah.
I remember another time we were like moving a bunch of like brush, like sticker bushes for your dad. A bunch of.
He was always putting us to work.
I remember I got like a thorn in my hand, and he took me inside, and he was like digging it out. And I remember like it wasn't nothing, but like we went to school on Monday, and you were like telling everybody how I was crying, while your dad was digging a thorn out of my hand. I'm like,
I don't even remember that. But
I'm
that
like,
sounds
fuck
right.
you. I wasn't crying.
I don't remember that, but
I
that's
told her.
probably
I
accurate.
totally remember.
That's probably accurate. I was a shit. I'm still a shithead.
I love
still
it.
do
It's
stuff
funny
like
though.
that.
It's funny though, man.
Dude, I do people like that at work all the time.
Yeah.
I just
do
like
him dirty.
Yeah, I'll just
Straight
do them
line.
dirty. I'll just like elevate whatever happened.
Exaggerate the hell out of it.
If you see him coming out of the bathroom, then the story becomes like,
Yeah.
oh man, I walked into the bathroom after them and I passed out.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
That dude smelled like shit.
There was this actually wasn't me because it sounds just like me, but it actually wasn't. There's another guy I work with, and so something had happened, and a guy had pinched the tip of his pinky finger off, and at work, and the poor guy, he was a really good guy, by the way, but he knew that he couldn't pass a drug test. He knew he was going to get drug
That
tested.
sucks.
So he had went into the bathroom to try to doctor it up himself.
Yeah. Hide it. Yeah.
Well, there was just blood everywhere. There was
Right.
blood everywhere. So somebody paged a first responder.
Oh no.
Another guy I work with, as the first responders was coming, was like waiting. Like there's like an area between where I work and the bathroom. He was like waiting for the first responders to come, and he was telling them all, "Dude, he pinched his dick off." He knew the guy didn't do that.
Yeah.
But he was just being a shithead. And so he was telling all these first responders, supervisors, managers, you name it, all the bigwigs coming, running back there to help this guy.
And in the back of their mind, they're probably thinking, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
Yeah. He pinched his dick off. Is what he was telling all these people.
Oh man.
And so,
Like, oh, there's something about Mary.
yeah.
You know, like,
How'd you get the Franks above the beat? No, wait. How'd you get the beat?
The guy didn't pinch his dick off. He pinched his pinky finger off, but
Still,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my friend, he's such a shithead. Dude, he's the funniest guy, but he just kept telling people that.
Oh, man.
And everybody, and then he didn't stop there. He didn't stop there with the first responders. He went down through the plant. And this
Spread
was,
it through the
yeah,
whole
This was
place.
like, I want to say 7 years ago or better. Went down through the plant, just spreading it. Yeah, oh, so-and-so, yeah, he pinched his dick off. Like, what the heck's wrong with you,
Yeah.
dude? Quit.
You see
Poor
this guy?
guy.
He pinched his dick off.
Yeah, and of course, the poor guy failed the drug test or whatever.
That sucks, yeah.
But,
That's a bummer.
Failed the drug test, get fired, and it wasn't even the worst part of your day.
no.
The worst thing was now you're the guy who.
Yeah,
Who got
but it
fired
was
for
such a
pinching
mean.
his dick
It was such a mean move.
Yeah.
That I had to share it because it actually wasn't me for once, but he did that, and I'm like, man, that's me. that's what I do.
Totally. That's totally me.
Just
You kind of
exaggerate the shit out of it.
you kind of want to show appreciation for it, but at the same time, kind of just be glad it wasn't you.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So,
Grateful. Yeah.
Monty, do you remember when we got into the paintball phase?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm glad I still don't do that. I remember.
You got to get in the mic, dude.
I remember you coming over to my house, and I think I had just gotten my mom ordered me a paintball gun off the internet, and I had
Yeah.
just gotten it. Oh, well, I remember being here, and I don't know if it was my paintball gun or your paintball gun. I don't remember, but I remember I came around the corner.
It was yours.
You shot the shit out of my leg, and I had just whelps going up my leg.
Point blank.
Yeah. And you and your brother were just laughing at me. You're like, we got him so good. I think I don't even know if they were they might have been frozen. I don't even remember if they were frozen or not.
No, they weren't
They
frozen.
weren't frozen?
No.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to go the other route because I brought it up to. Sorry, I brought it up to my oldest brother Jeff earlier.
He was the one that was there, wasn't it? It was Jeff.
Yeah, because he asked who was going to be on the podcast tonight. So obviously I'm like, well, Brett, obviously, and then I was like, my childhood friend Monty, Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I remember that name. Who is that? I was like, well, he had that badass paintball gun that you lit me up with.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you not remember that?
He shot. He was like,
He lit my ass up with
He goes, take off running, and he was like, he's making us take off running while he shot us. It was funny.
Dude, he fucking
Man.
lit my butt up.
Yeah,
Like
I
my
do
ass
remember that.
cheeks.
Yeah.
I was like bleeding out my ass. Yeah, your dad, Tyler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his dad.
Your dad's Jeff?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Oh, you didn't put two and two together
Wow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I knew you said he's your nephew, but
yet. Yeah.
wow. No, but it was Josh though who had that. Was it a Suzuki?
It was a Suzuki.
Or Kawasaki?
No,
No,
it was Suzuki. Yeah.
Suzuki, yeah. That yellow.
That yellow three-wheel.
Two-stroke. Yeah.
Dude, that thing
That thing
was
was
mean.
sick, dude. That was
Dude,
dope.
he had all kinds of.
I mean, he had like just gotten it, and I think he traded something else for it.
Dude,
Like,
that's the thing with our family.
yeah.
Yeah, especially growing up when you and I were at that age, it was just like all the time. Those two,
That was a sweet four-wheeler though.
yeah, like my Josh and then Jeff, your dad, was always trading their stuff for
Yeah.
like cool, like
Cooler
hot
stuff,
rods.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good barters.
yeah, yeah. And my dad, well, and we all get it honest. My dad's that way. He's always willing and dealing. But yeah, Josh had that two-stroke three-wheeler.
Yeah.
That was just like fast as lightning.
It was sweet.
Like a scary,
It was sweet.
scary unit. But yeah, I remember that. I remember that day. He was like doing wheelies across the side yard
He
or
was like
whatever.
rooster tails. That thing was just
Yeah,
spinning tires, man.
Yeah.
It was badass.
that was pretty cool. But yeah, I forgot all about some of that stuff until you started mentioning it.
Man, there was another story I was going to tell. I can't remember. I remember another. I don't know if. I think we were. I don't know if we were hunting rabbits, but like we were hunting something, or I think he had like a 22, and we were just like we were walking to Roger's house, or because didn't he live like
Roger just lives right across the field from me now.
now? But didn't he used to live like in the woods, like deep, like I don't know if it Roger Dasher, right? Your
Yeah,
cousin,
yeah, my cousin.
yeah. I don't know if we were walking there, but we were hunting. I don't know if we were hunting squirrels or we weren't even hunting. We were just like,
Walking through the woods with a gun.
yeah, yeah. And you're just
Stay strapped, get clapped.
Just looking for fuck with us.
Yeah.
Just
Say something.
looking for
Yeah,
something.
who knows, dude?
dude, I want to tell you about.
Dude, we were wild as kids.
I want to tell you about something I got. That's a lot of fun. That all you guys would like. So, not only about that other thing that I do, but I also around the 4th of July time, I make explosives,
Oh yeah.
legitimate explosives.
So-
like M80s, cherry bombs, quarter sticks of dynamite, legitimate ones, like ones from like like the 60s, like
He's like,
for real.
You're just the best.
For real.
You're just the best. I'm just gonna,
I
you're just
should've-
gonna stay here. From
I should have
now on.
brought. I should have brought. I was gonna bring some with me because
Yeah.
I mean,
You should have brought some with you.
oh,
If-
I will bring some with me
So-
next time.
If you ever hear
we do
about
a
me
big
getting in
party at the
trouble-
4th of July, and we have live music.
Oh, I'll bring some out.
So I don't know what your plans are normally during the 4th of July.
I go all over and I sell them, and people love them. I mean, I can make. It's a lot of fun. You can go fishing with these.
So yeah, so here's what's gonna happen: is 4th of July this year. We have a big party, like fish fry, all that bull. Sometimes kegs,
Hell yeah.
and we have live music every year. And yeah, we got to bring you out with your M80s
Homemade
and
firecrackers.
your,
I'm not joking. They're
your
legitimate.
Your homemade dynamite.
They really are. I'm not kidding.
No, like for real. So
I've actually
I can't even.
I've
I
been
can't even
getting-
take you that serious.
I've been getting really into different types of explosives, and I've been looking up how to make. It's actually really simple. The chemistry behind making legitimate like C4, like
Do you have a doomsday bunker?
no, I'd love one though. That'd be sweet. Build one.
You don't have any manifestos, do you?
No,
Okay.
no. I'm just an amateur. Yeah, I just like doing crazy, risky things for fun. I don't know.
Yeah, you've kind of been that way.
Yeah.
As long as I've known you.
I do that at the strip club.
Oh, so I want to ask you, McGregor versus Poirier 3, July 10th.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning that?
I kind of think McGregor.
Yeah.
What? Why are you even? Why are you
don't-
even taking
kinda-
that long?
I
Oh no,
see-
I
I
see
why you
I'm
say-
pro.
I see why-
I'm pro Poirier.
I see why you say that though. I really do. Because I mean, he has the hindsight of the last fight of those leg kicks. He knows
Yeah.
how. He has to have a game plan to counter them.
Yeah, I'm not really a McGregor fan. by any means, but dude, he's not a dumbass. Like,
He's a good fighter. I don't like McGregor either, but I can
his
admit
fight IQ is really
I
high.
can admit that he's and he has a great left hand. Like that's his like. Signature.
Well, he's got more than just a left
Oh,
hand.
right.
Yeah, he's way more than just a left hand. Yeah, I really do. I want Poirier to win because I love him. He's just a cool guy.
He beat the shit out of Gaethje. He beat the shit out of Gaethje.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of Gaethje. Poirier's just a
beast.
Just a beast. He's a
Yeah.
badass. But I really do kind of think there's something in me that thinks that McGregor will win the third fight.
Right. I kind of feel the same way. I really do.
I don't think so. But,
No.
I mean,
Really?
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't
no,
put
no,
a-
no.
I want to hear
I
your
wouldn't
take.
put a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of money
open to
on
all
it.
takes.
I want to hear your take on
I'm
it.
not saying that I'm right. There's just something in me that's saying
I
that.
feel the same way.
I understand what you're saying about strategy and that McGregor will adjust and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like that might have been more demoralizing than what anybody realizes. When you're a guy like McGregor and you're on top of the world for so long, and you've already got to win against this guy, and he comes in and he beats you. I feel like
It's not like the Khabib loss because Khabib's never lost to anyone.
right.
It's different. You're
I
right.
feel like there's a certain amount that it deflates you.
right.
And I don't know that you can bounce back from that necessarily with any amount of new strategy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just to me.
Right.
I mean,
Well, so you have a couple paths. You have the be humbled and work really hard and learn path, or you have that path of, well, it was a fluke, and I'll keep doing what I do.
Right.
And I think McGregor's a smart enough guy. I think he's highly intelligent. I think he's more intelligent than maybe anybody in this room. Rather,
well,
and
Let's draw.
I think that he will. I think he'll take that other path and learn more and work differently. I don't think he'll be as complacent.
While I agree with you,
Everybody gets used to being the best guy in the room. I've done it. I've trained and I've worked my way up to be the best guy in the gym, and that doesn't help you.
yeah.
It never helps you to be the best guy in the gym. I think McGregor. Like I said, I want Poirier to win.
Yeah.
I'm pro him.
Yeah.
Dude, please. I hope he pulls out another win on McGregor. I just don't think it'll happen. I think McGregor's very
Can adjust,
intelligent.
Yeah.
I think he's super intelligent, and I think he'll make the right adjustments, like you just said. And
My
I
only
really do.
my only concern is that McGregor has always been with his same coaches and his same team for like years and years and years.
well, he adapts a little bit with, he had that dork in the park where he's playing touch butt.
no.
What
yeah.
what are you talking about?
He went through a dancing phase. I don't know.
What? This is the first I'm hearing about this. Did he
Okay,
really?
Yeah. So he had what he called his movement coach. It was leading up to the Nate Diaz fight,
Okay.
the first one, and Nate Diaz the trademark line, because Conor McGregor had a bunch of trademark lines in the interviews and the press conferences and
Who the
different things.
fuck is this guy?
Yeah, but Nate Diaz's big trademark line was, "Dude, all you do is play touch butt with that dork in the park. Who do you?" train with?"
Okay, yeah, okay.
or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
I know what you're talking about.
But
Diaz is funny, man. He's fucking.
dude, they're awesome. I
Dia-
love the Diaz brothers.
So Diaz is fighting Leon Edwards
Yeah,
coming up.
I don't know on that fight.
Leon Edwards is good.
Somebody asked me about that yesterday. It was like, who do you got on that one? And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't
Leon
know.
Edwards,
I mean,
easily.
the crowd.
I
The
like-
crowd wins that fight.
I like.
guess.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
that's
good
true.
fight.
That's very true.
It's Leon's fight.
I mean,
What?
I don't even care who wins that fight. That's a really good fight.
That'll be good. That'll be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And it's the first
It's five
round
minute rounds.
co-main event.
Yeah.
That's not for any title or anything.
Yeah, so that's super
That's
cool,
interesting.
man.
It's interesting for sure.
I'll ask
Yeah.
Tyler why the confidence in Edwards, and I ask because I'm not very familiar with him.
Leon Edwards he's just a beast, honestly. Nate Diaz getting old, and he hasn't fought in a while. No,
Oh,
he
those
hasn't.
are good
He's
po-
gonna
no, those are-
stalk and slap
Those
you.
are good points. No,
No,
he's
he
right.
hasn't.
He's
He's-
right.
No,
he
he's
is-
right. I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
just
Let,
being
let the
Diaz
record
hasn't
show
fought.
that
Yeah.
if Nate Diaz walks in this room, nobody here is fucking scared of him.
Nope. Nope.
Dude, I ain't fucking with Nate Diaz.
No, dude, they're crazy.
I
Both
said
of them.
nobody in
Have you
this
seen
room.
Have you heard the story about his brother getting in a fight, like at the hospital after a fight?
Yeah.
What was that guy's name?
Oh,
that
that
he-
was.
The dude shit his
Shit.
pants though.
Yeah.
He shit himself.
I have no idea on
But they
this
were
one.
they both
heard
started
that?
jumping him in the
It's been a
closet.
while.
Yeah,
It's gonna
dude.
upset me that I can't. I
Yeah, I
remember
can't-
when it happened at the
know.
time.
The guy had a stupid stomach tattoo. I can't remember what his name is now.
Gosh
though.
dang it.
But yeah,
I'm
after
upset
the
now.
fight,
Was it like stupid, like Godsmack
it was-
tattoo
it was,
around the belly
Joe
button?
Riggs.
No.
Yes.
Joe-
Yes,
yeah.
it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Back. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's
Back-
been-
Nickname Diesel?
Yes.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Diesel over the belly?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but him and Nick got in a fight at the hospital after their fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, both Nick and Nate like confronted him. Was like, "Come on, you want to keep talking shit, motherfucker?"
Stockton.
Yeah.
Stockton, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Stockton.
And they supposedly they like they started fighting with him, and it like scuffled into like a broom closet, and then they both got in the broom closet and was just beating the shit out of him.
No shit.
Yeah, I
And
guess
he shit
Joe
himself. He shit his
yeah,
pants.
I guess Joe Griggs like looked at Nate and was like, "Are you gonna stop this?" And he was like, and then just in Joe's, he's like, "No, this guy's a fucking idiot too." And then they both just jumped him in the broom closet.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is, yeah.
Dude, I listen a little bit off subject, but I listened to a podcast earlier this week. It was Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing
Yeah.
with Bruce Buff.
I watched that too.
He got in a fight with Frank Trigg
Yes.
in
Yeah, I
an
was gonna say that,
elevator
yes.
in front of Dana White.
Yes.
Yeah, and Dana White just like
What
laughed the whole
heck?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Dude, is that not the craziest?
wild.
Bruce Buffer used
How
to be
awesome.
Bruce Buffer used to be a boxer.
Yeah,
He used to-
well, Dana White was as well.
well, I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know Dana was too.
Yeah, Dana White was actually like a boxer and a boxing manager, if I
Wow.
recall correctly. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And out of Boston?
I think so.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, because
so who was the big
Yeah.
gangster?
Whitey Bulger. That's what I was just about to
Whitey.
say. That's the
Yeah.
whole reason he moved from
Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah,
to
he was
Las
in trouble.
Vegas.
Dana was in trouble.
How scary is that to
Yeah.
be like in debt to one of the most notorious mobsters in the
Yeah,
you know
just,
in the
you
United
wouldn't,
States?
When do you sleep? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I would.
That'd be
Yeah.
scary. I would have moved to Las Vegas too.
Well, good on him.
Yeah,
Look how well he's
greatest
doing now.
movies ever.
Yeah.
You know, greatest decision.
So let that go. You can piss off mobsters and
Yeah.
make a great life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
kind of leads me into some free advertisement. Have you guys watched Born a Champion?
No.
No.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
Go home, watch it. Pay the money to watch it.
What is it?
It was it's about a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. And he ends up getting in like a tournament, like a fighting tournament though. And he starches the first two guys, and then the third guy, he goes to bow and shows respect and gets cheap shotted and gets the dog shit beat out of him.
So before you go on, is this true? Is this like a documentary or a movie?
Good question. I want to say it was loosely based on a true story, like very
So,
loosely.
so it's a movie, but
It is a movie.
Okay.
It is a movie.
Okay.
Would you watch it on?
I rendered it.
Okay.
Yeah, I rendered it.
From where? From where?
Cold
Off of
House.
Dish on Demand, maybe.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I was. That's family video.
Rest
But-
in peace, family video.
but-
Oh,
well-
yes, that's so old.
I will say that
Yeah.
not just the storyline was good, but the actual fighting scenes and things were actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a B film. I can't remember what we paid to rent it. It might have been the full $20 because you know
Okay.
you can like rent like your mainstream movies that are supposed to be in theaters right now, COVID times.
Oh yeah.
For like 20
Godzilla
bucks
vs.
or
Kong.
something.
It's out
Yeah.
on HBO.
I'll probably rent that when I go in the house. By the way,
It's good. I watched it.
yeah,
It's okay.
Kong's gonna rip that tail off. I hope, but yeah, it was really good. So he goes in this tournament. You know, he starts his first two guys. He loses to the third guy, which like cheap shotted him to heck, and falls out of the fighting scene. And there's a lot of like dramatic things that happen, and then like several years later, so several years down the line, Don't remember how many. This guy that beat him has been on a tear. He's like the reigning, defending, like just absolute monster. No, they can't find anybody to beat him, you know. And then the video of him cheap shotting this jiu-jitsu guy starts to go viral.
Wow.
So they end
So
up
it's set in like modern times.
now, yeah, it's set in modern times, but to start with, it's not. It's like, you know, like back in the 90s or something, you know, when jiu-jitsu was first coming around.
Right.
And so people start contacting him, like, you need to
Avenge
fight this guy. Yeah, you need to fight this guy. Nobody's beating him, blah, blah, blah. So he, for the right amount of money, it was a big amount of money. He's like, okay, I'll do that. Well, then he goes to the doctor, and he has, like, I think it was a torn retina. And the doctor says, no, you can't fight.
Yeah.
So he's devastated. He's been training really hard to do this fight. And he's setting out on the curve. His wife is coming to pick him up, dies in a car accident.
Oh wow.
You know, and it's not going to reveal anymore.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
You gotta set it.
I'm not going to spoil anymore.
Spoiler.
Go home and watch it.
That's enough. Go home and watch it. Born a Champion. It was so good.
Nice.
It was
I'll look
a
it
really
up. I'm
good
gonna
movie.
look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, the storyline was good. The acting was really good. We've all watched the cheesy.
The Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually.
Warrior's good, dude.
I thought
That's
the
a
Warrior
great
was
movie.
good. Yeah,
That's a great
that's a
movie.
bad reference,
It really is
Monty.
a great
That's a
movie.
bad reference.
It's a
Monty.
bad analogy.
Wait,
Yeah.
which one was
It's a
that?
good reference,
Which one's
bad
the
analogy.
warrior?
With
Tom Hardy and
yeah,
Joel
Tom-
Edgerton, and Brian Callen, who plays Joe Rogan's like
I love
commentary
Brian
guy.
Callen.
Dude, I love Brian
Callen,
Callen. Yeah, I love Brian Callen. Dude, he was so good in the Kingdom, the series.
I haven't seen that. Is it good?
You haven't watched Kingdom?
No. What is it about?
MMA.
Oh,
It's
is
a
it really?
series,
Is it
though.
really?
Yeah, it's got it's got Joe Stevenson,
Okay. Wow.
Juan Archuleta,
Wow.
Frank Grillo.
No way.
Frank Grillo is basically the main character. Have you watched Kingdom?
I haven't seen. I'm.
Oh
familiar
my
with-
gosh, I'm sitting in a room full of wannabes, basically. If you haven't watched Kingdom,
I've just spoken about my terrible internet service. I can't.
You uncultured
I can't
swine.
stream this
Yeah.
shit. Uncultured.
I
Yeah.
don't remember which streaming service it's on. I think it's on Netflix.
I got Hulu, Netflix, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. You should definitely.
I'm gonna look
Dude,
up.
it
Kingdom-
is legitimately like really good. It's like it's like Sons of Anarchy.
Born a what? What was the other one?
Born a Champion.
Born a Champion's a movie,
Champion
but
and
Kingdom's more important.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
haven't watched
okay,
it,
Okay.
so Kingdom's like
Number
yeah.
one priority.
Yeah.
Priority. Yeah.
It's literally like Sons of Anarchy good.
I'll watch it. I'll definitely
Yeah,
watch it.
the acting's
Do you
great.
watch Mayans?
I do watch Mayans.
Do you?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I know it's good.
You haven't.
I know.
Dude, why? Why even bother asking if I watch it? If you haven't watched
I'm aware of the show. I just don't view it at all.
Yeah, we're
I haven't watched it, but I know it's good. I know it's good because Joey said it's good right here.
it's really good.
I didn't like it.
No, I see commercials for it all the time. It does look pretty good.
I don't know if it's as good as Sons of Anarchy.
Right. It's a spinoff, right? It's same
It's a spinoff. It's Aftermath.
same universe.
Aftermath.
Same universe, right?
Yeah.
It takes place in the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. So the
world.
Sons are in the Mayans,
Okay.
but it's after Jack Steller.
right.
It's pretty good. It's really good. Do you guys watch Snowfall?
No, I heard it's awesome though.
It's amazing. So it's basically about the CIA bringing cocaine
in, yeah.
into.
That's
Los
a true
An- well,
story.
America.
They did that.
but it's
Yeah,
it's basically like stationed out of L.A.
They did do that, dude. They did that.
Yeah, and it's allegedly loosely based on a true story.
Oh, it's 100%
I,
based on a true
I can
story.
believe that.
Well, I don't know if it's 100% based because it's still a reality series.
The people and the names involved may not be true, but like the whole premise behind the CIA bringing cocaine in and then that becoming the crack that the black people turn to.
Well, and
ball
that's what it
cocaine
turns into
crack,
is the crack.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened in real life.
Dude, it's one
It's
of the
crazy.
better series.
I want to
It's-
watch it now that you
It's
say
like
that.
so. If I want to compare it to another drug series, I would say if you like more suspense, it's better than Breaking Bad.
Really? Wow.
However, Breaking Bad storyline was really good,
Yeah.
That's strong.
and the character likability
Yeah.
in Breaking Bad was so good.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to surpass that.
Well,
But
everybody
you
loves a high school teacher who gets fed up and
Yeah.
and, go
Makes
and,
me-
and gets
Brett,
into
what
some,
are you saying?
Gets into some bullshit.
Brett, what are you saying?
Science, bitch.
Science, bitch.
I actually can't say too much about.
But yeah, Snowfall is really good. I recommend that for anyone.
I figured it was about cocaine, given
Yeah.
Snowfall.
Snow, yeah.
You know, and like thirdly, 90 Day Fiance is pretty good. So I'm just gonna.
I've
put that
heard
out there.
I've heard other people talk about that. Like, I actually watched that show. It's not that bad. I'm like,
It's actually really good.
I've heard it
Actually
is.
really
I've
good.
heard it.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard a little about it because one of my favorite radio shows to listen to is it's kind of been an evolution. Like it was Opie and Anthony, and then it was Opie and Jim, and then it was it's gone through. People have gotten fired and quit and
Right.
whatnot, but all the different iterations of the show, they love 90 Day Fiance, and they'll talk about it, and that's what I listen to when I'm going to work. And so if anything's happening on there,
You know about it.
They're all over it.
Yeah.
So
So Brett, we haven't got into it yet. What happened this week? Anything fun? I see you're still in the Malibu.
I am still in the Malibu. My car's taking a little longer than I thought to get fixed up, but nothing too exciting with
Nothing exciting.
with work really.
Nobody
No.
jacking off in the back seat.
Not this time, or at least not when I was looking.
What car do you have? And what's wrong with your car?
I've
Oh,
got a
wait, you told me
Chevy
that.
Cruise.
The battery still, or no? Something
No, that
different?
was my wife.
Oh, okay.
Her battery died, but my car got hit by a semi.
Oh,
which
shit.
I think I mentioned before. I say it that way because it sounds pretty badass. But, I mean, what actually happened was we were on the interstate, so I'm in the right lane, and a semi's passing me on the left lane. And I don't know if he just kind of, got to fall asleep or checking his phone or actually thought the right lane was clear. But he's coming over,
Yeah.
crossing the line over by me, and so I honked at him. But by the time I had honked at him, he was already too close.
Sideswiping you.
And he sideswiped me, so I'm getting that damage fixed.
Yeah, I would be too. I would. Luckily, thank God you're okay, man. I mean, that's
Yeah.
serious. That's a semi
Yeah, it's
coming
real
at you.
business.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. You're lucky you're
was-
okay.
It was as light as I could have been touched. I mean, like
Thank God he was conscious.
He got
Yeah, when
kissed.
I-
he
when
got
I-
kissed by death.
it was,
Yeah, really?
It was a kiss. Like when I honked at him, he tried to correct, but he was already too close, and so when he corrected,
Thank God he didn't overcorrect. I mean,
yeah,
come on, man.
and like really whipped my ass.
You're scaring me right now talking about
Yeah.
this story.
yeah, he's
Uh,
look at he's
I know.
getting goosebumps.
I am. I'm like, God, I'm
Yeah.
sobering up, like thinking about it.
It was easy as I could have been touched, but a semi versus my little car, that's still gonna
What do you have?
Chevy Cruise.
Okay.
So
It's a great
It was
car.
enough.
I drove a Chevy Cruze earlier.
What year?
did you?
Yeah, my niece's. She's having some like overheating problems, so I had to
Okay.
drive it from Captain D's to whatever dealer that she's
Yeah.
going to get it worked on at. Yeah, good
That-
little car. It's peppy.
Is it?
Yeah, I just had to make
That's-
sure that I didn't overheat it on the
Right.
highway.
Yeah.
It's a 5-minute drive, so
That's the last 3 cars I've had have been Cruises, which I go through them fast because I drive a lot for my job, and I've had my last 3 cars have been Cruises because I like them, and I don't. I do like the car, and I also don't like to learn new setups. The radio and
it changes every year, though.
It's not much.
No,
Yeah.
No. Well, it will. I mean, they don't make them anymore.
uh,
So the Cruise I have is the last one I'll have unless I just get a
good little cars though.
older year. But
Is yours automatic?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I have a friend that has one that's like a 6-speed manual.
Wow.
Really?
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But they're all turbocharged, correct?
Are they really? I bet
Not
that's
all
quick.
of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah, I don't have that.
See,
I bet
my niece's,
that's quick. I
well,
bet
your
it's
sister,
sweet.
Tyler,
Mhm.
is turbocharged.
I bet that thing's sweet.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
heard.
I bet it is.
The ones that are turbocharged usually have some problems, what I've heard. But
I think that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More moving parts.
This guy here has its problems, apparently. I've not had any issues, but I'm a part of forums or whatever. And
Upgraded from the 300EX.
just a little upgrade.
What is this?
That's a Can-Am X3 turbo.
It's turbocharged.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
What size engine does it have?
I believe it's a 900cc.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
but
Sweet.
it's turbocharged. I've got the base model, so it's only 120 horsepower, but you can get them up to like 192 now.
Wow.
But since I have the base model, I don't,
It
I don't,
could
I don't
go-
think
it
I
could go. Like,
yeah, I don't think I have enough horsepower to really tear everything up
Right.
because I've had it for 2 years. I'm not broken anything.
You only
I
had it
just-
for 2 years?
Yeah,
What'd you have before this?
a Can-Am Commander.
You like Can-Am? Good brand.
Oh yeah,
Great
oh
brand.
yeah, great brand. Them Canadians know how to do it.
I didn't know they're. It makes sense.
That's what they always say. When
Yeah.
you think of Canadians, you think of vehicles.
Is Can-Am
and
Canadian American? Is that what that stands for?
Maybe that makes sense. I don't know though.
I don't know. I'm
it
asking.
makes sense.
I don't know, but I feel like
I'm just gonna roll with it.
I feel like that makes more sense than I've ever thought about.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Canadian
But-
those Canadians, they do
That
cars.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that might be. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up as soon as I go home.
You should look at. You should look.
I'm not gonna remember. I will not
I'm-
remember. I'm fucking faded.
So Tyler, what's new this week? You work all week or what?
Yeah, I first time in like 2 weeks, I made it through the whole week. Yeah.
Finally over that Rona.
It's not Rona. It wasn't Rona. No, yeah, I made it through the full week. It wasn't too bad. Just doing. What do we do all week? Not much. No, I was up on the roof all week building like strut racks for disconnects. That was about
Nice.
it. So
I see-
it wasn't too bad,
Yeah.
except for yesterday and Thursday. It was pretty cold, pretty windy.
It's been very windy.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Just when I was starting to get like all healed up, I'm up on the roof when it's cold out.
So I might have to catch it on camera. But you didn't bring your better half.
Cody?
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I did. I texted him I texted him this morning. I was like, what are you doing tonight? I don't know. And I was like, oh, I'm coming over to Joey's. And he's like, man, I just want to fish. And he just got an attitude with me. I'm like, I'm in Evansville right now. He's like, oh, whatever. And I didn't hear anything back from him. So that's probably why he's not here. I don't
Is he
know
fishing
what
your
he said.
place?
Have you fished here?
I haven't.
No.
I didn't know who you're talking about. If he
Yeah.
fished here.
No.
I like to bring up his friend Cody,
Yeah.
the Taki Finger Kid. He gets a little jealous. He thinks that I like his friend better than I like him.
Because you do. That's why I like Brett more than you.
Zinger!
No, it's on it. It's bullshit. Now
I don't like Cody better than I like you.
I brought Cody I brought Cody over here first, and they just hit it off. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just sit here in silence in
you
a
felt
corner.
sparks, didn't you?
Yeah, it's some bullshit. And then I take him over to we stopped over.
So
at-
now I know. Now I know why you have a top fan.
Yep. It's jealousy.
Do you have one top fan and he doesn't, or something?
Apparently now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
That guy.
According to
I'm
this.
just learning this today.
Well, pretty much is what I've learned is I can't
No, I
bring.
told you a while back. I was like,
Yeah.
my nephew was pretty disappointed that you had to leave before you got here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did say.
Well, I always show up late.
You do.
Um,
And you don't ever bring your own beer either.
yeah, I do. I brought some last week.
You brought like 3.
No, I brought 6 or 7.
You brought 6 for you and your friend.
Yeah, but he says he doesn't drink. He literally says like, "Oh, dude, I'm not gonna drink." I'm like, "Okay," and I take on like 2, and he's like, "All right, give me 1." Hey, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He was like,
He's
"Hey,
like, yeah, I'm on a diet. Is what
yeah,
he's
he
telling you,
does.
right?
He says that. He's like, "Oh, I'm on a diet. I can't drink." I'm like, "Okay." So I always bring like maybe 1 or 2 extra. But yeah, before I came here last week, we stopped at my grandparents, and Cody, he stole the show over there. And I just sat there on the couch and just like looked around. I was like, all right, we got to get out of here. And Cody's like still talking. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? I can't take him anywhere. Like I was like, I can't. Well, now I know.
Well, on the record, I love you more than I love Cody.
Yeah, all right. Whatever you say. Watch, he's going to come walking through the door and you're
I'll be like, I'm Cody!
Yeah, exactly.
There he is. Hey, take Tyler's mic. Tyler, go sit over
get
there.
out of here.
Yeah. I'm like the dog nobody ever wanted.
Whatever, dude. All right, well, after you guys' long pee break, apparently I've stuffed too many beers down all of you.
Forced it.
Forced it. We will we'll cap it out for this evening. And I had a fun, I guess, with our sports analysis.
Had
Monty.
a fun. You said had a fun.
I had a fun. I had
Yeah.
a fun. I had a fun with my nephew and our sports analysis, Monty, and co-host Brett.
Yeah, good. I think it's a good mixture of stories, analysis, expert opinions.
Yeah, yeah. I think we need to come up with a title for this before we close out. What do we say? All things UFC?
Joey loves Cody.
I was getting ready to say something along the lines of just missing Cody.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Maybe
gonna be.
maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Maybe I just missed the Taki Finger kid.
Yeah, I don't know. It centered on UFC, so. I don't know.
No, I'm down. I just miss Cody really bad. Kind of hurts. But
We have Tyler. We have Tyler. He's
Yeah,
good.
I'm here.
We have Tyler.
I show up late every
You know.
time.
He'll suffice.
But,
for
I
us.
mean, he's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
shows up late and drinks my beer and doesn't bring Cody. So. We'll keep him for now. I guess I love him.
He's-
I guess
one
I love
of
him.
these-
He's a good egg.
yeah.
Yeah. One of these days I won't show up late and I'll be the main star. We'll see what
Oh,
happens.
maybe. I don't know. It just depends.
See.
I guess if I can't get anybody else.
Have you had
Mhm.
a RK on? Ryan Klein?
He was supposed to come on with you, and he keeps making excuses.
Really?
Like, oh, I'm in French Lick, or oh, I'm in
doing
Hawaii.
a bunch of fun stuff
Or
somewhere
yeah,
else.
I'm in Hawaii. It's like, dude,
I'm in French Lick. What are you
yeah,
doing? Like,
who cares about Hawaii?
Yeah.
Just come on my show, you know?
What kind of
Screw
what
Hawaii.
kind
Yeah.
of dumb shit chooses Hawaii over coming in here?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I don't think he ever actually said that, but
Did he go to Hawaii?
no, but he is
I
in
could
French
see
Lick.
that. I could see that.
He is in French Lick.
I wouldn't put that past
Yeah.
him though. Like,
Yeah, I messaged him either last night or this morning. He was like, buddy, I'm in French Lick, but if you get a hold of me on Monday or Tuesday, and I'm just like, gosh darn it.
fights happen on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. I work Monday through Friday, you know. Some of us,
Right.
but yeah. And then
He'll get on eventually.
he'll get on.
Eventually.
I'm gonna bring. I want to bring him on the same episode I bring you on.
Yeah.
So the next time you can just come on whenever
Dude,
you
I
want.
haven't seen him in just as long as I haven't seen you. So I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be like another nice reunion. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And he's got more muscles than I have.
He's pretty stout.
He's pretty stout.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I mean, he owns his own.
He has a gym,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So you'll have that.
That
That's a
helps.
given. You know?
yeah, he's got his own businesses. So that
Yeah,
helps.
he really does.
So Tyler, anything you want to close out with other than?
I miss Cody too, actually. no, you keep talking about. No. Thanks for having me on for 5 minutes. Cody
5
would've-
minutes.
Cody
It
would-
was at least 30.
Yeah, you say 30. Cody would have got 3 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
Cody would have had a full Joe Rogan experience with you.
Yeah. Well, my subscription only allows 6 hours a month, so
That's
Really?
tough.
yeah,
Is that real?
for real.
For Spotify or?
No, it's a
YouTube or-
no. Our podcast actually lives on a separate host, and it gets submitted out to
Really?
Spotify.
That's
and
cool.
all those other apps.
That's cool.
But
Well,
yeah.
you better up the subscription. Get rid of the Miller Lite and start drinking some hams instead.
Well, I guess if we started doing that, we could up the subscription to basically unlimited. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to stop drinking what we like.
Yeah, you like what you like.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I had fun with you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody coming out.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank you,
good
man.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for bringing me on.
happy Easter weekend.
Tomorrow's Easter.
right.
That's
It
right.
is. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, for
Thank you, Jesus.
coming out of the tomb.
Thank you, baby Jesus, for coming out of that tomb.